Spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager means. I have yet.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. Also brought to you by bindedbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to get all of your teas at My Son's Teas, the tea of teas, divinely prepared at herbsofmyaunt.com. Be sure to check out all of those musical stylings by Brian Hicks Spade at bhspademusic.com. For your everyday items and religious regalia, be sure to check out morrishaberdasher.com. And for that everyday especial Morris drip, be sure to check out morsachi.com. And all of these companies are powered by ALO Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today.
No such thing as failure, baby. Don't forget who made you. You can't be thinking minor when you need to be thinking major. They made you think they saved you, but it can't nobody save you. And
you will come out.
We all the way live. We all the way live.
I'm gonna move out the way.
What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
What it is, yo? What's it?
Malik, you crazy, man. Great day today. Great day today, man. That's all I can say. Had a great workout, man. Malik gave us an amazing workout. So how y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling?
Feeling great.
Y'all saw my mom in there. She was 1, 2, 3. Mom was there with us, man. You know? Peace, Mofo.
Yes, sir.
Peace, Nobles.
Peace and love. Peace and love and light to everyone. I know everybody that's jumping on. But peace. We're going to give it a hot second. Can we get our Moorish American prayer by one of you honorable brothers, if you don't mind?
Indeed.
Universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day through the Holy Prophet, through Ali, Amen, Ashe, Shalom Aleichem, Ash'ar, Islamism. Peace.
Peace. Man, today is another good day. Today is Saturday. Today is another day to learn. But I want to give gratitude and honor to everyone. I want to give gratitude and honor to my parents. I just want to give gratitude and honor to everyone that's here, you know, that's do good things, man. I know a lot of times all the stuff that's going on in the world today, we talk about it, but sometimes we don't talk about the little things that give us joy. So just give gratitude for joy, man. Give gratitude to joy. And we was talking about it today. It's always a storm, but I don't think you run outside when the storm is happening. We may get caught in a storm sometimes, but I don't think we run to a storm. If we run to storms, then that's something, you know, something you got to work out, you know. But the thing I say, when the storms happen, I think it's some form of shelter, you know. So I just want to talk about some joy, you know. So keep joy in your heart, you know, especially what's going on today, man. Like, I like to talk about current events, even though we're going to do a specific teaching for history part. But it's something, you know, that's staying in my mind. Me and my dad all been talking about for forever. And when we talk about, brothers, the concept of church, when a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth of church, you know, when we see all the crazy stuff going on with these preachers, you just seen Bishop whining, talk about he wanted 1,000 plus 1,000. Then you seen the other people say, close the doors. We know all these bad things. And just think about it. The only thing we own, brothers and sisters, as misnumbered Black people, is the church. You know, what we grew up in. Some people grew up in more science. Yes. Some people grew up Islam. Yes, I get that. But in the community and neighborhoods, when things happen, you go to the church. So if that's the fact, what I'm saying, and if we say it need to be done the right way, what's teaching in the structure is wrong, not the building, because it's just a building, then I think we have to get the right people in the building and take our church back.
Hello, somebody.
Because that's where the common or the most misnomer black people go, because you damn sure ain't going to college. So we ain't gonna sit up that. And most people we know dropped out of school, out of high school. Well, if that's the case, where do most people go to and gather where you can catch the majority of black people, misnomer black people, no matter what educational level? In the damn church. Am I right or am I wrong?
Church, yeah. Absolutely.
So if that's the case, y'all, when we say church, we're talking about the gathering of people. How are we going to gather the people in our community that have a base of something? Because remember, the teachings is being taught wrong. It's nothing wrong with the building. It's what's inside of the building is wrong when we say church. It's nothing wrong with the gathering of us. We always had
like
church.
Food? It's like food,
So,
what
yeah.
you put inside, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. People be getting so caught up with the we more science. I said, okay, I get that. But what you said, what you were Islam Muslim? Because I'm not. I'm not. I tell you that I'm not. I don't gravitate. I don't teach nothing outside myself. I understand. But when we talk about teaching our people, when making something common, that's not common. You cannot tell me academia and university and what I've earned and gained, not only from academia, from being homeschooled with my parents, that's not common for the average man. It's not. So how can we make this common? It's only one way we can make this common. How? We have to take back our church. I ain't afraid to say that. I say that with my chest out. Come on, people.
Absolutely.
It has to be done the right way because that's community. That's supposed to be community. That's where everything's supposed to happen. The information, all the educators, everything you need to know. Oh, where? There, the brothers, the sisters, everything. Where? Through that organization, basketball teams in the community, all those things that we're doing here. So get that in your head, man, and let's get some of the good teachings. And when I say challenge yourself to say, hey, maybe the teachings is wrong. Let's sit down and have discussion. I always ask brothers and sisters under their religious science, do you have discussions over what you think you believe from those that's in that set? And have you read the language? Because you can see a lot of things. I sent y'all, I shared a film in the text stream with y'all with the Islam, the brother. And they had that lecture. I don't know if anybody watched it. When he said it's Allah, Satan. In that context.
Well, it's kind of one and the same, right? It's like as above, so below, right?
Yes and no.
You can feel it. You got to have one. You got to have the other. Or how would you know what balance is in life?
Absolutely. And see, Malik, and see,
it's plus and minus, right?
I absolutely. That's
so
why
they work together.
If it's taught like that, but it takes someone to explain it. Like I'm saying, I agree 100%. But when it's been read from the face value, that's why I say we should have discussions. You know, over
it's taught by mysticism, right? To spook or spookism, right? To scare you into basically almost giving your power and your essence away instead of what you actually possess. Not as a possession, but you possess this great godly energy that nobody's telling you how to manifest and ascend.
It's so much
how you rise from how Christ rose from the dead. He ascended, right? It's a parable, an analogy, and an allegory, right? And it's symbolic. So
I'm definitely with you.
They don't teach it like that. They teach it as spookism.
I'm with you 100%, Noble.
And I know because I've been in the church and I understand what was taught versus what the science, reveals, and actually the education, the studying etymology actually reveals, and understanding what was said in that dispensation in time and breaking down the etymology of the language so you can correlate and not base everything on feeling, base it off of what you can prove. because the Bible says, "Prove all things, hold fast to what is good."
And see, and that's just the start. We was just talking about this. What's being taught? We need to take this back. Well, we need to say if any of we go to the churches and things, say, hey, well, we need to have let's come hear a good word. Misnomer Black history gonna come. What the kids gonna learn? See, this is a topic right here, man, that it was so amazing how I just threw it out there, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna do this for everybody can have. Why? Because the response I got and from the people that was like, man, do this one, and then whatever you do after this, fine. But just this little bullet for everybody, just how it's still being spread, y'all. This Euro, watch this. Do y'all know right now? Because I don't want to say the count, but right now, y'all remember when that film came out and they said Africa was named after a European. What's the name of it?
Hidden Colors.
Yes.
Okay, so see, this is why, hey Mo, so this is why I always do this. I play dumb. You know what I mean? So I be playing dumb and I ask people questions and they be dropping a dime like that, like boom, boom, boom. You know, it'd be so crazy, right? So hold on. So at the end of it, it's another group that say, hey, that was just recently a group of Hebrew Israelites, no disrespect, and the girl, and they was somewhere, and he was like, yeah, African American is named after two, Europeans, African American, and it was a group of y'all seen that? Oh, y'all seen it? I think they wear purple.
Oh, you talking about the Israelites?
I guess so. That's what. Yeah. So this is what people see. This is what somebody sent me, and because I'm like, well, they're like, but you talked about this. They're like, well, and this is what I'm saying to people who like when we can get caught up in false information because of how it sounds. A group of people to try to blame the other man and then say it's scholarship. When I say now, this is simple information. So if all these so-called leaders that they are, which when you look at them, you can't, brother. It got to be some type of programming. It got to be some type of, I'm just being honest. It got to be, it's some type of game that is going to happen. I'll be like, is some shiggity going on? I'm telling my brothers, think about this, because this only done. Now think about this, nobles, and I have to be honest, because I have to teach. A teacher gonna teach. Why would a group of people be teaching this falseness like this? Why? And it can easily be debunked in 1.2 seconds without even thinking. Why? Why? And then the masses fall for it. Why? Something wrong, y'all. Now the hidden colors was proved pseudo, and then here it is. These brothers saying the same thing. Well, let's see something. The title Africa did not come from Scipio Africanus. The birth name of Scipio Africanus was Publius Cornelius Scipio. Publius Cornelius Scipio earned the title Africanus after he beat General Hannibal Barca in the Battle of Zama in the Second Punic War. And the Romans got the title Africanus from the indigenous Afri, AFRI, or the Berber people living in the northern region of the Sahara Desert. See, and also, this is scholarship. And so when people promulgate this and they be bold and they say, well, the leader is like, that's cap. That's why I be saying when people talk about COINTEL and all this and agents, are you talking about yourself? Because this is propaganda on all levels. Just like if I talk about roots, we know where that come from. Willie Lynch, we know where that come from. So that if I'm promulgating that today and I can easily prove and debunk that from scholarship, something is up, y'all.
Yeah.
To keep people religiously stupid. Look how simple this is. Every nation, landmass, and continent has names. that have evolved over the centuries, all over the names. All the names you think Africa was called in the distant past are only local names used by few tribes, nations, and only refer to small sections of the continent. Man, my professor is a professor like 5 times over. So somebody was talking about Jane Elliott. You know, everybody was like, oh, y'all ever heard of Jane Elliott, the white lady? My professor was like, forget Jane Elliott. He was like, here it is, y'all melanated. And this man right here, Jane Elliott, be quiet when that man's speaking. He was talking about me. He was talking about me. He said, you don't need that for that. And you got your own that can give you this. That's the problem with us. And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, you'll give somebody else glory, and your own person right there is more glorified than this person, and you don't even know that person. This is what I mean. Sense like is there. But watch this. There are multiple ancient African sources for the word Africa, including the Berber word. I just gave one. Ifri is spelled I-F-R-I. Fact check me. And the Berber word Afer, A-F-E-R, which is the name of the Banu Ifran from Algeria and Tripolitan. Africa can also be derived from the Egyptian Af-Ru-Ka, the A-F-R-U-I-K-A, to turn towards the opening of the Ka. The Ka is the energetic double of every person, and opening of the Ka refers to the womb of the birthplace. Africa would be, from the ancient Egyptians, the birthplace. These and many other ancient sources, including hieroglyphics, make reference to the title or design Africa. The first word, Afu, the AFU, carries the meaning of house, nobles. The second word, Ra, is one of the names of the divine creator in Africa in general and Egypt in particular. And the third word, Ka, carries the meaning of the soul or the spirit. That's what Malik was talking about, that inner. When you put it all together, what do you get? Africa. I mean, this is not hard. That's why I be saying, I said, man, y'all need to go sit down. We glorifying these people and they got rich. That's why I said, I know the creator got something for us. It takes time for righteous things because you got to dig through all the madness. People got to get hurt and all that. And then the savior have to come and swoop everybody up and accept the pennies. I get it. Why everybody jack off on the millions. Then the savior got to come and accept the pennies and show what the savior going to do with the pennies. I'm telling you, I already know. He done showed me this. The meaning of Africa is the house for the soul or the spirit of the divine creator. The word in this form refers to the land of the divine creator. The Africans look at their land as belonging to and created by the divine creator. Therefore, the Afrikani, a word derived from Africa, also carries the meaning of house for the soul or the spirit of the divine creator, but in reference to the human being, male in particular, in this context. Now watch this. The plural form of Afrikanu, K-A-N-U, the A-F-U, the R-A, the K-A-N-U nobles, which refers to all males as houses for the spirit or soul or the divine creator. So when I say the Afrikanit, the A-F-U-R-A-I-T, K-I-T-N-I-T, is the female house for the soul or the spirit of the divine creator. Now watch this. The plural form is Afrikanut, which refers to all females as houses for the soul or spirit of the divine creator. And this is the philosophy of Afrikaans, aka Africans. Y'all still with me?
Yep.
Come on, see, this is elementary wisdom, my friend. The Africans believed that all human beings were the carriers and houses for the soul and the spirit of the divine creator. That's why we're able to explain it in so magnanimous illumination, because we are the house of the divine creator. And this wisdom comes from a lot of different books. You can research it, but then you can cross-reference with other things. I mean, we can research some of this stuff in Destruction of the Black Civilization, you know, Great Issues of a Race, 4500 BC to 2000 AD, written by Chancellor Williams. You have to be able to dissect stuff. Africa was also called Akibalan. I said also called Akibalan, aka Mother of Mankind. You say what, Noble Malik?
I said right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Mother of Mankind. And Garden of Eden. What you mean? Yeah. Ding ding message. Garden of Eden. I heard of Garden of Eden. Where? In your Bible, huh, Malik?
Yes, that's right.
A message. This name was used by numerous tribes and ancient nations, including the Nubians, the Numidians, the Haddans, aka the Carthaginians, and the people of Cush, aka Ethiopians. However, we never had a single name for the entire continent, but we had numerous localized names. But there is no name that was used, nobles, for the entire continent before Africa. Let's keep fact checking these pseudo liars because we have to call it what it is. Now, just imagine if your son wrote that in history class and I'm their teacher and they come and bogle like, yeah, I did your research, got it from here color, got it from this, and you come and I fail your child to the highest failtivity. You know?
Absolutely.
So that's something I always ask people to think about. Think about that for a minute. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
The current misnomer adopted by almost everyone today was adopted and used more widely and across many cultures to describe the continent, likely because of the way it's easily translated into many indigenous languages, the ancient Greeks and Romans, and as a result of the wide usage of the name Africa, came over time to use Africa to describe the whole continent in their context. A few more examples of indigenous sources for the Africa is Afarak. I'm going to spell it for you for reference, where you can research what I'm saying. Afarak, also known as the Araucaria, the Aourigha. That's a Berber people who live south of the Carthage, aka which is North Africa, and the terms Afarik, Afarik, or Africa nobles were used to denote the land of the Afarak. Now, the Phoenician root Farouk, Faraqua nobles, which suggests a separation, or in other words, a diaspora per se. And the same root is found in some African language, like Bambara. In Sanskrit and in Hindu, the root Apara, Apara, or Africa, what that does is it denotes that which, in geographical terms, comes after, or in other words, the west of India, from the geographical portion of India, the Asian country in which the East Africans established colonies, namely the Dravidian culture, nobles. Write this down, the Dravidian cultures. Africa is the Western continent, my brothers and sisters. See, and another school of thought I might add is that the word Africa come from two Phoenician terms, one of which means an ear of corn, which was a symbol of fertility in that region, nobles, and the other, Pharika, Pharikia, which means land of the fruit. Don't it sound good? The land of milk and honey? That sounds like fruit. Come on. Other local names used to describe the land, Africa, is Agoria, Ethiopia, Korith, Ortega, Libya, Africa, Kemet, Cush, Nubia, Olympia, Gadaguana, Hespera, Temeria, Oceania. Africa has many indigenous sources. Now, let's get to a little bit more. And y'all can ask me any question. Why do I'm going to ask y'all this question, and then I'm going to answer. Let's see, do we have it? Why do so many misnomer Black people say Africa got its name from Publius Cornelius Scipio, who got the abdomen, aka nickname Africanus, after he defeated the general Hannibal Barca, then called themselves Asiatic. Did y'all catch what I just said?
Say that again. Africa refill.
Huh?
What was that?
I said, why do so many misnumbered black people say that Africa got its name from Publius Cornelius Scipio?
Because he probably plagiarized it.
Well, I'm gonna keep explaining it, because I just gave a little whole scenario, the synopsis of everything. So I'm gonna break it down. Let's see would everybody catch it. We did this before. Watch this. A lot of the same misnomer black scholars that I just said that's what they be saying. They never say, if Africa got its name after this, well, why don't they say Asia got its name from the brother of Scipio, who was rewarded his victories in Asia. Watch this. With the abdomen, Scipio Asiaticus. Lucius Cornelius Scipio, who was better known as Scipio Asiaticus, was given the abdomen, aka abdomen is a nickname, Asiaticus, by the Romans, just like his brother was given an abdomen, aka nickname Africanus, when he defeated Hannibal. So if he defeated Hannibal, Hannibal was a what?
A more?
Hannibal was a what?
Abdomen?
He was no Hannibal, the person that the Scipio defeated, Hannibal Barca, he was a what? If he take on a nickname Africanus after he beat someone, then that means Hannibal was a what?
Sorry.
Come on, this simple. African.
African.
Let me reverse.
He defeated an African.
Yes. Peace, Noble Simon.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. He defeated the African. So when all I'm telling brothers, I don't debate, because that's a lower energy. I just give history and let you put the pieces together. And then you be like, when anyone come with any other garbage, no matter what color they are, no matter what costume they have on, you can just walk past. This is what I'm saying. That's what peace does. Because they know, because it's too easy to embarrass a person with scholarship. This is too simple. Africanus, when he defeated Hannibal Barca. So watch this. The word Africa is an indigenous name used by a dozen North and East African tribes for thousands of years before the Roman Republic was ever born. Rome got the name Africa from guess who? The Africans.
The Africans.
Point blank. It ain't no Africa. It ain't. Listen, no Africa is not named after any Romans. I'm tired of people giving our history to some of you. I'm tired. The Masonic keys don't come from no European. I'm sorry. It's a fact. Adam Blavatsky, Pascal Beverly Randolph, I'll show you where all the science come from. They'll tell you in their autobiographies. You're just not connected to someone that can show you. Was Africa named by or after a Roman general called Scipio Africanus? Now watch this, brothers. Even if you do not know the many indigenous words and meanings which translate to Africa, it should be obvious to any elementary student that Africa is not a European word. It's not an Anglo-Saxon word. It's not any of those things, because there are not European cities or towns called Africa. That's why. Do you want that? There go one bullet. If Africa was a European word, there would be other places named Africa. Don't you think? For a little, that's with a little tittle of wisdom. You don't have to be all that smart. See, a lot of new age religious people, no matter what color they are, on the corners arguing, will falsely tell you that Africa got its name from the Romans. And that's a bold-faced lie. And if they say they scholars, I challenge everyone from love. and I ain't no rich man, but I'll put $1,000 up and I'll show you from scholarship that you lying. And you can't say you know educator, you not know academia, because that's Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda that you spreading. This is facts. This can be easily debunked from any elementary student. I said this easily debunked, y'all. I don't care if y'all got 1,000 people. You professing this with your chest pumped out, this can be easily destroyed from an elementary student. One of my elementary students. I'm talking about a kid. They don't know history. They lying to you. The people spreading this lie do not know history. And some of them do know the truth, but they choose to spread the lies. So you can ask a person when they say they so proficient in the Bible, then you should be proficient in history then. And so when they come with that mumbo jumbo, either they sincerely lying to you, sincerely, because Africa is not a European word. And it's not named after the Romans, whose name was Cornelius Plubius Cornelius Scipio.
Scipio.
Yes. And there are multiple ancient African sources of the word Africa. Remember the words I gave you: Afri, the Berber word Afur, Banu Ifran, Aldra, Tripolian, Africa, derived from Egyptian Afrika, the Afruka, to turn towards the opening of the Ka. You see? The Romans did not create the name Africa, and anyone who claims they did is mistakenly or purposely a liar and a phony and a fraud. I'm telling y'all this. We always talk about the white man this. Man, you Negroes ain't around no white man. The only white man you know is the white man that's cashing that on your check. You don't go no white school. You don't go no white church. You get all this propaganda from somebody that look just like you. So stop the cap. Stop the cap. And we don't call it out. And that's why this stuff gets spread and spread, and people be so pumped up with pride with this crap that can be destroyed by any of my European colleagues I graduated with. They'll be like, Sheik, why are you talking to these people today? And it's like, you're like, you love doing this? I said, yeah, for my people. The same way they went to university and went back to Denver, but they preach now because that's what they came to academia for. I'm telling you, Africanus is an agnomen. Do y'all know what an agnomen is? Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
Research it. Okay, now watch this. Africa is not named after any Romans. The Romans named themselves after us. When you see in Russia, you see they hear all that stuff, they're mocking you. When I show you Thomas Jefferson Quran, when I show you all that, the book, when you see the Moor with his regalia and you see the European on a horse, the Moor not dressed like the European. Think about it now. I'm going to show y'all. Africanus is an agnomen. What is an agnomen? Publius Cornelius Scipio he earned the nickname, or AKA given a nickname, for defeating a general named Hannibal Barca. The agnomen given to Publius Cornelius was Africanus. Publius Cornelius Scipio was given the title, Africanus. Therefore, many thousands of Romans and Africans were given the agnomen Africanus. If you look at it in history, then they try to see that picture of the depiction of Abraham Lincoln. What did they call him? Africanus. Am I right or am I wrong? Come on, y'all. Yeah. I know.
How do you spell abdomen?
Agnomen, Agnomen, Noble. Agnomen.
Agnomen.
Oh yeah, we on there. You know what? Right now,
AGN or M?
Yep, Agnomen. Absolutely, Noble. Roman naming practices vary greatly over the centuries between the founding of Rome to the early Middle Ages, nobles. But you must understand the practice of the elite during the period between during the mere Republic and the early Empire has come to be seen as the classical Roman naming convention. They call that the naming convention, just like you had in history, the whitewashing of history. It said in Maccabees how the Gentile tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. I show people this in real history. I take you to the Greek Catholic Church and show you from
So
scholarship.
they add that to their name to let you know that it just said it means abdomen means add to name to let you know that these people did certain things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is likely to be because this period provides good evidence of naming practices of the best documented class and the best documented period, which was the Roman period. Like Malik, remember he said they always documented things. Malik, we know this, they always documented. That's why they want to say, oh, this is not real. But then when I get one world Tartarians that I try to give to everybody for free for a small donation, the European always going to agree with me. That's scholars. I don't care if you know Freemason, especially my European Scottish Rite Masons, because they son of Muslims. They'll tell you out their mouth. Come on, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's our own people. By the end of the Republican era, a name of an aristocrat, male citizen, comprised 3 parts. Now watch this, I'm gonna teach you a little more. It was the trinomnia, or the tria nomina, the Trinoma, the praenoma, Praenomen, which is a given name, and the nomen, the Nomen, or the nomen Gentile, or simply Genta. It's like, how can I pronounce it like Gentilicium? Gentilicium, being the name of the gens or the clan. Catch what I'm saying now? Being the names of the gens or the clans. Being names of the gens or the clans. When you talk about your nationality, don't mean that I'm teaching. I hope if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, you should have some questions.
Can you repeat the names again one more time?
Absolutely. No assignment. Absolutely. And see, I love to teach like this. Like once you see how I teach, you can be like, man, this man is just a teacher. If nobody don't ask questions, I'm gonna be like, damn, then I'm gonna ask the same thing 15,000 times, but the same thing. And I'm like, how you don't know this? And all you have to do is ask the question. I ask you the same thing 15 different ways. It's only one answer.
Yeah.
So we was talking about the which names you wanted, the pronomia,
It's like,
those.
yeah, that what you gave. I guess it's the other names that was given as a
So okay,
title for action or
so
something.
so it was the pronomian, the
Okay.
Praenomen,
Okay.
and that's a given name. Then you got the Nomen, and that's a nomen Gentile.
Okay. Nomen Gentile.
Yep. Or to put it together, it's Gentilicium. It's spelled Gentilicium. Yep.
Okay.
And when you research, you'll be like, okay. And then I'll give a little bullet, being the name of the gens or the clan. Oh yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you had cognomen, Cognomen. That's a name of a family line within the gens. Oh yeah, that's a family. It's like when I talk about the appellations. And if you're a wine connoisseur, why you always think the wine connoisseurs say, what's the appellation of the grapes? Well, damn it, if the appellation of some stupid ass grapes important, why the appellation of you not important? Catch my drift? We going somewhere. Absolutely. Sometimes a second or third cognomen called an adnomen, the Agnomen, was added. Yes. See that the rabbit holes get deep. We just touching the surface. We ain't gonna go too far. But the nomen and later the cognomen were virtually always hereditary. Hereditary, meaning what was the name you were given at birth? It should mean something. So during the imperial period, the number and the options for elements within a name considerably increased. Therefore, the naming conventions of that later period grew out of a desire to indicate status, connections, and ancestry. I tell every brother, research your coat of arms. Don't let these religious Negroes tell you that you came over here on some slave boat. Because I don't have no history of no slaves. All the history my dad researched, my family was within Florida free. Now, you can come with that, oh, we all ain't nothing. We all were no. We're going to stop right there. I tell everybody, look up your family crest, your coat of arms. I keep telling you to copy you. What you mean, Sheik? Look up your family crest and your coat of arms. And then you can stop with all the religious games. Look up your family crest and your coat of arms. I'm breaking stuff down for you simply so you can see the rabbit hole is going to get deep. You don't understand the word that are coming out of my mouth? We are the ancient and modern Britons. Every European scholar is going to agree with your brother. David McRitchie, the history has already been written. So if I'm a historian, like I say, all I can do is what? Repeat the history. I can contextualize it. I can gather and compile it to make it simple for my brother so I can get you there way faster than anyone because I've been through the fire. I can do that. And you can fact check me on the road. But after the cognomen became hereditary and lost its function as a nickname, a second nickname or agnomen was appended to the name after birth, usually not immediately, but to signify some personal characteristic or accomplishment. Therefore, a common agnomen was pious. Remember, y'all ever heard the word pious? In books, you would see pious this, pious this, pious this. Right? Have y'all? I'm dealing with literature. You can find so many things. It was pious this. That's a certain characteristic for someone who displayed what? Virtues like honesty, reverence to the gods, or devotion to family and state. Superbus, proud, culture, handsome, were also examples of an agnomen. Or excuse me, not an agnomen, but an agnomina. The agnomina knows. But unlike the nomen and the cognomen, an agnomen was usually not inherited unless the son also had the same attribute or did the same deeds, although some victory, agnomina, like Augustus, Majestic, and Germanicus, the German conqueror, and of course Scipio Africanus, the conqueror of Africa, and eventually became handed down as additional cognomina. But when it says when it's passed down, the son should have the same virtues as the father. You just don't get inheritance because your dad a king and you an idiot and you're supposed to be taking care of the community and doing this. You just a jackleg. But just say it's your birthright. No, it ain't your birthright. Dad can give it to somebody else that he adopt. If I ain't gonna do it right, understand it's some attached to my name. That's why I tell people, I say I'm a Goodman first. I represent my dad. I can't be out here acting no fool and out here hustling people. No way, because it ain't nothing to hustle. This is a gift. So with agnomen, the plural, agnomina, in the Roman naming convention was the nickname, just as the cognomen was initially. But the cognomina eventually became family names. So agnomina were needed to distinguish between similarly named persons because people have the same last names. I'm teaching, however, as the agnomen was an additional and optional component in a Roman name, not all Romans had an agnomen. Therefore, y'all know what pseudo mean, right? Pseudo means fake.
Yeah, fake.
So pseudo Probus uses hero of the Punic War or wars, Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus, as an example. So watch this. Well, you probably won't know, I'll be speaking a different language, but Proporia homono nomnia equator species deventur promona nomna cognomen agnomen promona puta Publius nomnia Cornelius cognomen Scipio agnomen Africanus. So what I just broke down is men's personal names are of 4 types: prenomen, nomen, cognomen, and agnomen. Prenomen, for instance, Publius Nomian Cornelius, Cognomen Scipio, and Agnomen Africanus. Watch this. In history, research this. Marius Victorinius, he further eludes, and I quote, I am Agnomen Extricius Venti. So he's telling you what he is. He's breaking down all aspects of his names, as I just did a second ago. And the agnomen comes from the outside, and the three styles, the personality, the physique, achievement from the personality, such as superbus, that's haughty, and pious. Remember, displaying a form of reverence. Therefore, Africanus, Critus, and that likes are also known as victory titles. For example, Gaius Marcius Cornelius earned his from the capture of Coroli, Corioli. Research what I'm telling you. So again, to be clear, Scipio is not the source of the word Africa. Africanus is his victory name because he won a war against General Hannibal Barca in Africa. Therefore, the Roman general who defeated Hannibal was named what? Publius Cornelius Scipio. That was his name. Yes. And he was best known for defeating Hannibal at the final battle of the Second Punic War, 218 and 202 BC at Zama. And that feat, when he defeated him, he earned the agnomen. Remember now, the agnomen title, because that's what they did. When they whoop you, they take your title. Understand what I'm saying? Okay, if you come and you got a title and you got a heavyweight champion belt, and I take your belt, then I got your title, right?
Right.
So my agnomen gonna be what? The heavyweight champion of the goddamn world, right?
Yeah, add two.
Come on now. See? Or your nickname, Africanus. Scipio was also called by the nickname, what? The Roman Hannibal. And he was called Africanus. Why? Because he beat the greatest African general of all time. And I rest my case. Any questions? It don't take long. Any questions? So when somebody comes and say Africa was named after a European, and somebody spent all the millions of dollars watching these videos and be pumped up with their pride out in the streets regurgitating that stuff, you need to go have several seats. Because I know people promulgating it, because that's how we do. When we get something, we think we know something, and what the first thing Negroes do is run out in the streets. Now what? Who go correct the teachers now? See, it'd be crickets. It'd be crickets. This is how it can't be no other way. What can you say? Any questions?
Nah, it's clear.
Anybody got any, like I said, anybody got any question they want to add? The floor is open. The floor is open on any. If anybody, like I said, if anybody had a question, the floor is open. Long as it's from love. Anybody got anything? This don't take long.
You mentioned a couple of names of like the Berbers. You said that had a name that was like a derivative of Africa. What were the names like the tribes or whatever, and what were the African names? Because I didn't get to write that down.
You're talking about
you said Berbers were like Africa or Afriku or something like
Afri, or the Afri, the AFRI.
Okay, and then what was the other ones you had?
All the other names of Africa.
Yeah, other names of the Africans.
The people, the Africans.
Oh, yeah, the African, the Africani, the Africani. Yeah, I'll text it to you, the proper spelling. Okay. Yeah, the Africani.
Okay, and who was that? Because I know you said one was the Berbers, but I missed the rest.
Well, the Berber word, I'll just give you this. The Berber word IFRI and the Berber word Afir. Okay, so those two words, combine the IFRI and the Berber word AFER, which is the name of the Banu Ifran. That's the name of BANU IFRAN from Algiers and Tripolian.
Okay.
This is where those are from. And also
Okay.
Africa can also can be derived from the Egyptian Afrika, spelled AF, you can put
Africa.
a little dash, RUI-KA.
AF dash RUI
Yep.
dash KA.
Yep. And
Wow. Okay.
when you start dealing with the science of breaking down to that syllabus, like when I did with Kumbaya, when people think that mean come by here, but no, it don't. It mean stand up and arise. When you deal with the lexicon, the kum, the by, and the ya. Yeah. See, we've been taught wrong. Everybody's been taught from their mama, oh, kumbaya mean come by here, my lord. Come by here and do what? The kum, the ba, the ya, when you break it down with the lexicon from facts, is stand up and arise. I don't care what nobody say. Fact check me. I said, we look stupid when we profess things that can't be proven. We look stupid, but they let
So
us
what
have it.
language is that?
What?
It's Kumbaya.
It's really not a language. It's a
Cold.
well, yeah, because a lot of times in slavery, just like a lot of times, you have to talk in code, just like fighting styles. When you use like clean equipments to do martial arts and things, they thought you were dancing. So a lot of things was codes, a lot of things in language, and the only way other people know is what somebody told them.
Like capoeira.
Yes, absolutely. Come on, I'll wait for you to say it. I'll just be speaking for other people to answer. Be like, yep, he right. I know this stuff is easily researched. That's why I be laughing with brothers. Be like, how do you don't know this? You profess to be a scholar and a leader of a whole bunch of men. Not only you stupid, all the rest of these Negroes stupid. That's the blind leading the blind, brothers. Big facts. Remember, the ka is the energetic double of every person in opening. So the ka is the energetic double of every opening in every person, of the opening of every person. Therefore, the ka refers to the womb or the birthplace. And in this context, well, the womb or the birthplace, Africa would be for the ancient Egyptians, the birthplace. It's all in the hieroglyphics, to make reference to the title or the designation, Africa. Remember the AFU. When I show you, remember on ICU Freeman L chart. And on the top of C Freeman L chart, I don't know if my nobles have that on hand, but on the top of C Freeman L chart, you got the flush of God. On the top, you got the Afru Ka. And it's like a little head. It's connected to it, look like a little tail, like a little synod, like a little sandworm, like, and it's a symbology. But then it breaks everything down. What I'm saying, only a person that know will get you there from no biasness. That's why I'll be telling my brothers you don't have to join them. That's lower than what I'm gonna give you, because I'm gonna give you the lower level for free. Then what?
Then what?
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just being honest. We don't have to diss nobody. The first word, afu, listen, it carries the meaning of house. The second word, ra, is of the name, is one of the names. I said one of the divine creator in Africa, in general, the Egyptians. The third word, ka, carries the meaning of soul or spirit. We put it together. You get af, ra, ka, the AFU, RAKA. I mean, it's there. And that's why I said I don't mind explaining and teaching, because more science is more than a whole bunch of people arguing over things that's irrelevant. We can sit down and talk amongst brothers like we doing now and have a discussion over anything, but we must do it from a right way, from not trying to convince no one that their way is right. That's what this is for. And so when I say any questions, no matter what's going on, because brothers might be listening to other things, as we over, I want brothers to ask questions on anything that they need, and we can go on. And once those things are corrected, we move forward from it.
So you saying that the house of God, I'm bugging. Africa means the house of God and the spirit? Like if you put
In
it
that
together?
context, in that context, when we breaking it down, what Africa really mean. Well, just like when John Henry Clark said, man, the way you must understand things is what you must deal with the people of the area. So when you're dealing with the people of the area, they the ones wrote it.
Hello.
So yeah, and I send more. And like I said, it's some research by the brother, the Negro question. It's a few volumes. And in that Negro question, I even lectured at academia. Most of my lecture was at college when I met my nobles that I was working in my soup store. I used to talk while I was at work. But yeah, it talks about Africa or Judah had like so many different names. Judah, Abir, I forget the other names, but it's a whole different other names. You know, Benin, and so all this stuff is just be facts. And you had in those times, Noble Simon, they had cardiographers. Cardiographers agreed what was going on in that time. A cardiographer is what they mapped back then, just like Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark wrote what they saw. That's why I'll be laughing. I just let a person go first and throw all their jab, and I say it won't take me long. It'll take me about maybe 20 minutes.
So are cartographers like responsible for the modern map? Because I heard that it's like upside down or something.
Well,
I don't know if you heard that before.
That map. That's just one of the that's in the ground plans for Louisiana Purchase. That's what you talk about. That's in the museum. That got the south up top, the north up bottom. You got them right by each other. But
Yeah.
the cardiographers, like in first century, they agreed and they pinpointed the landings for different kings in different time periods, and they pinpointed the land what they saw.
It was right in the middle of the Atlantic or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get the information. It's in one of the books, by the Negro Land by Lee Cummings. I got all that. Yeah, don't worry about it. I got you. Yep, and the history is there, and so we just do things from scholarship here to correct us, because we can't say, "Oh, Dr. Ben." You hear a lot of brothers today. Dr. Ben is their elder. You will hear them say that. You will hear them say John Henry Clark is their elder. Where it can be, if you're going against the teachers that we're teaching, it can be. Any other questions?
Oh, what was the title of this class? What was we
This,
focused on today?
this one was I was just giving a little history that Africa was not named after a European. I did this
Okay,
lecture.
I got that
I
one.
did
Romans did
Yeah, I
not
did
name
this lecture
Africa.
in the college campus, man, and because a lot of brothers that I'll give you how it started. I met my professor in the African American department. He was a European, and he said, well, "Do you want to lecture in here and kind of correct teachings? You have every right." Because a lot of brothers was graduating from college saying that Africa was named after a European, because that was being promulgated. Just like they talk about Willie Lynch. Like it's no such thing as it's no Willie Lynch letter. It'll be in the Library of Congress. And I had the pleasure to lecture and debunk this on college campus. A black was never used to describe ethnicity in the first century. Never, never. Nobody in first century used the word black, none of that. So I was able to lecture this stuff from scholarship, and nobody can prove it. Just like Roots. Alex Haley played Roots from a European named Harold Colander. It's a book called The African. He plagiarized it all. It's all fake. And then these lying Negroes that get on TV and make documentaries talk about Kunta Kinte as they damn ancestors, Simon.
That's crazy.
And it's all fake. Thank you. This is what I'm saying. The psychosis of us. How you gonna defend something that ain't even real? You'll go to court, they'll be like, well, this man is telling you defending something that ain't even real, sir. It's not even real. Alex Haley played Roots from a European. Research what I'm saying. His name is Harold Colander. He wrote a book called The African. You're a low-level Freemason.
Can you spell that out? Harold what?
Harold Colander, Harold Colander, Courlander. Harold Colander.
Okay, he wrote a book called the what?
The African.
The African.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all where all these Negroes be getting this pseudo stuff from. I know where their charter come from. Just like they be talking about the Anunnaki. You ever heard that the Anunnaki some alien? You heard that, didn't you? Okay. Well, that come from a European named Zachariah Stitchin. I'm telling you what I know. All
And he
lower
just
level.
made that up like a fiction, or he just
Yeah, he ain't never read no tablet. He just made that shit up like they do to throw you off to act like some aliens to try to show that you don't have no power, so they give credit to some stupid ass aliens.
uh, that's funny as
I'll
fuck.
I'll take you to the Greek restaurant. My nobles on here. When they come to Arizona, I know some of my European guys from Russia. They got a Greek restaurant. I play stupid. A smart person can play stupid. All my nobles came. I said, "Who's that on the wall?" They were like, "Sheik, you know that's you." It looked just like the so-called Anunnaki. Got the braids, got the tunic, cotton or silk, got the staff, got his sash on, got his blade, got his sandals
Hmm.
on, got his fez on. He like, that's the Moor. He like, you are an Anunnaki. See, it's no dis. I don't come to disrespect no one. I just be like, no, that's not scholarship. I know what our people is being promulgated. That's why we crazy. I know a lot of stuff come from the Jehovah Witness. I know people don't want to admit it. That's that spaceship shit. Excuse my candor. That come from the Jehovah Witness book. They can be mad if they want to. I'm telling you, I know where the stuff come from. They can play if they want to. It's there, and so I want us to be clear and have peace, and understand who we are as a people and what we have the right to do it the right way. And please ask questions. We at our hour. That's a wrap. So, do anybody got anything else? I think Taj came here. I want y'all brothers can definitely introduce yourself. Like I definitely want brothers to be comfortable asking questions after we in class, and like Saturday and Sundays. I want all my muftis to join us on here, your friend, family, and friends, because we're going to be having specific topics. We're going to be having topics that's like brothers that may be part of the temples. And right now, like my noble Malik said, we have to clear up people's spirits first. And so we have to correct a lot of things. Just like if we grading papers, and we all can be the fact checkers, because I'm right here to share it with everyone.
That's right.
I'm right here to share it. I don't want nobody to get caught up in nothing. That's why I asked everybody, do anybody have any questions?
I missed some of the beginning, so uh, um, can you name some of the literature that you used, or where you found that Romans didn't create the name Africa? Just to,
Well,
like you said, fact check, look it up, or just just
well,
having my so I can prove it as well too.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you some of my notes, because a lot of my lecture that I do, speaking, is coming from years ago that I did at college campus. And so
Okay.
no one, when I met my movies, no one would ever be able to come to the lectures because it was on college campus. So a
Wow.
lot of the lecture, I had screens up, so we had the big projector screen, and I'll
Oh
be,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'll be going over the notes to be live. So a lot of stuff I have to put in paper form, but it's everything I talk about is an easy Google search. That's one thing
Okay.
when I tell everybody a thing in academia. Now a lot of lectures I do on campus, everybody got their phones, because you can fact check a
Right.
person right there with their phone, and boom, 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 boom. That's what I love as well when I talk about
So
real time.
so what should I look up? Where did the origin of Africa come from, or who really came up with the name of Africa? Is that how I should do it in Google?
Ancient names of
What's up?
Africa, because you got to
Ancient
remember,
names of
man,
Africa. Okay.
when we talk about language, now we talk about Nubia and certain areas, but the whole thing is language. That's
Yeah.
why
Linguistics.
linguistics is so important. I tell everybody linguistics. When we talk about names. So one door can take you there. That's why I always tell people, when we searching
Okay.
for an answer, sometimes it's not a answer per se, like this is it, because this little research will take you here, and it'll take you here. I just open up the chamber for you to research, and wherever your research gets you, I can get you the rest of the way. You know, so that's
Okay.
why I challenge everyone, because even from me learning, I don't want everybody to give me everything. I want to research it myself. Like Noble Malik said, he was like, "Yeah, I hear you, Sheik." When I first met my Noble, like, but he liked to take it and regurgitate it and be like, "Oh, Sheik, oh, bam, I saw this. Blah, blah, blah." Why? Because you have to do some work.
Yep.
Right.
Nothing.
You have to. I tell everyone, I said, you have to do some work, or you can have some questions. If you don't have no questions, then I know you ain't studying nothing. Why? Because you don't have no questions. You know,
That's right.
Right.
even when I meet Moors from the temple, I'll be like, "How you don't have no questions?" I say, "See, you don't have no question." I ask people like, "Well, why are you here?" Because if I'm part of a temple, it's like if I'm part of a dojo. I don't need to go to listen to no other sensei unless I'm being nosy and I think that sensei got something that we don't have. I'm just being just like because I'm an old martial arts head, you know, right?
That's right.
I'm just saying if I say I'm this and I'm that, and I'm part of something, what will persuade me to go listen to another person in that mind frame or want to hear that out? Therefore, it's something that may be missing. So I always tell Moors, if that's the case, what about the rest of the brothers? So you telling me you're the only one that's part of that's missing something? And that's where I say we bury things and we try to, and I'm not saying no one on here, a lot of Moors that I meet, that be the same characteristic. I say, why don't you share with the rest of the brothers that feel like you? That's all I be asking brothers. I be like, so you the only one? When brothers say they part of temples, I say, so you the only one? Who you converse with? Who you talking to? I asked Moors, do they have the Moors Quran? I done met Moors, they don't even have the Moors Quran. My dad right here, Elder, I used to have my temple in Arizona. I met Moors, didn't even have the Moors Quran. My dad said, what the hell these Negroes in here doing? I just asked brothers, what are you studying? I asked brothers in the temples, what do they study? They won't say nothing. Because I know what they studying. Let me tell you. Let me tell y'all.
Absolutely.
Nothing. I'm telling you, nothing. If all that stuff can be easily debunked when they talk about some statutory from the de facto government, that's cap. It ain't no 1099 trust fund at the end of the rainbow. I know y'all heard this stuff from these temples and from these people. I tell everybody to research Roger Elvick as we close. Research Roger Elvick, that what he did and what happened to everybody with that overthrowing the government with that militia stuff. Research the paradigm group.
Are you talking about the Sesta K? And
Say what?
you talking about the Sesta K trust? Is that you saying that's fake?
What sets the K trust?
The Papa Bull of 1666 and all of that, and claiming
Oh,
your
you
estate.
talk about the Papa Bull and the Dumb Diverses and the Doctrine of Discovery. I ain't say that was fake.
Oh, okay. I don't know what trust you was referring to.
I say what Noble would be saying is the trust fund at the end of the rainbow, some 1099 that these Moors be saying.
The
That's fake.
OID shit.
That ain't nothing but a religious affidavit to
Okay.
set up the Moor Science Temple. You can look that up from the CCRD, the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds. I send the paper to everyone.
Yeah,
This is
you
what I be
did.
asking these Moors, Simon, when I be like, no, tell the truth because y'all lying. And I don't like Moors that be out here lying with this cap. It's like, man, you know damn well you lying. You know damn well that 1099 ain't no trust fund at the end of the rainbow. That's an affidavit. And how the Moor Science Temple was set up. And anybody can get it from the CCRD, which is the County Clerk Recorder of Deeds office. So they need to stop lying. And you can't expatriate from de facto government. Why the hell would you want to expatriate from the de facto government? Then who would you have allegiance with? You would be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. And they be teaching this stupid stuff. See, this is too simple. I'll be asking more is where y'all getting it from. Nobody will say nothing. See, it'd be crickets. Because I notice what people be getting. That's why my Malik tell he be like, Sheik, that's why these Negroes be coming. He ain't saying to everybody. He'd be like, Sheik, could they be coming for something? They be trying to get out of something. More be coming to me, man, I got this case and I need to, what? Okay. Well, I think it's some Moore's law. No. The Council of Court said if a Moor kill a U.S. citizen or vice versa, if a U.S. citizen kill a Moor, that Moor going to be judged in the same parameters as a U.S. citizen. Now what?
Not a black or a Negro. Not a black African American or a Negro. Understand that.
Yep.
Instead of more.
You must proclaim, declare. We teach this, your religious rights. For the record, when I tell people for the record, black was never, man, listen, the black, it's still been illegal to be black. The Dred Scott law was never abolished. I don't know that. So anybody pushing that Negro, that black, that stuff, it's something wrong because that's civil mortis. We know this. And like, it's a whole bunch of people playing a game. It's a money grab. The SF 181. You say, well, go ahead, Noble.
How do you specifically teach how to update your status And
You hear what you just said?
yeah,
Say what you just said.
how to
Update your
use
status.
specific of that update your status. Like who I've heard a lot, so I don't want to get confused with other methods on how to update and contact everybody and declarations and that type of stuff.
Update your
You know.
status doing what? Just explain what you think that'll do. I'm glad we're having this conversation for the world. I'm glad because
Um,
and nobody and Simon, I am so honored that you asking these questions because nobody would do this, Simon. I I be asking every more. Just ask me some questions because I know people getting stuff from somewhere and they won't. And then they do the stupid stuff, and then you know what happens, Simon? Well, you know where they be?
in jail.
Or they be looked at as crazy. They in the damn asylum. I
Crazy.
know two Negroes right
Yeah.
now. I'm
I
telling
know.
you what I know.
Half the time what I've seen is that people don't even know what they're talking about and just use it regurgitating information. And but some people I've seen that's making moves and winning, usually through the
Okay,
tribal
women what?
equity.
Let me ask you something. Is they life change? Because I hear the rhetoric. After you go to court and do all that, and you still on welfare, and you work at Amazon, after you do all that shit, is your life different? Yes or no? Be honest.
No,
Hell no.
no.
I know.
But I've seen. All right, so I'm not debunking what you said. You're absolutely right. But it's few and far between that I've seen people establish trust and build business credit. That's making some wave, making some money, and
Hey, no. Let me tell you something.
operating.
You can build. I teach. I have a business degree. You can
Right,
build. If it ain't nothing to trust, anybody can build a trust with Fuji dust in it.
right,
I can build a trust
right,
with Fuji dust in it. If I live irrevocable trust or a trust to my family, it got to be something in it. I can establish the trust and then when I die, and they say, "Well, Bill, Kareem left a trust," and they say, "Well, yeah, he just on paper ain't shit in the trust, ain't no
right.
assets."
Teaching you how to do this step by step is my question.
So when we talk about a building, I'll show you how to build business credit. You got to do real business. I'll show you how to
Yeah, but
register on the
catch.
Jones and Wall Street. These are simple strategies. It's nothing secret. It's nothing magical. You
No, it's
learn this
not.
in business school. Like,
But
and I
can't
can
you?
show you how to build business credit separate from yourself. You will be. It's just called doing business as. You will be a
Can,
different entity.
okay. Can you could do that with the trust though as well? You can build business credit with a
Yeah,
trust.
yeah.
Yes.
But you got to. You said it.
Okay.
Build business credit. You're just not going to get
Yeah.
credit magically. You said it the right way. You build business credit by doing business. So I teach the
Right.
strategy of how to build business credit. How you got to do business. Who with businesses. You're not going to magically get credit just like anybody turn 18. Well, I got credit. No, you don't. You have to get. You have to establish credit and use credit. So I show people how to do regular life things and build your business credit.
Nice.
I teach that in real life. Like you
Right.
have to do business to build business credit. It's a strategy. It's no scheme. I went to university. It's simple. Your business want to be separate from your personal. A lot of people, when they do business, they be taking money out their account doing business. You'll get audited. You have to set up with your articles of organization, all that stuff to set up your
Correct.
business at its own feet. Then I show you how to set up on Dawes and Bradstreet. Then I show you how
Right.
to, then I show you what quick 30 accounts are. I show you all
Right.
these things. I show you how to build your business line of credit and build it in 30 days by doing basic stuff that you're doing. And then you look
Right.
up in six months to a year, you will look at your business line of credit be through the roof. And then you will start putting everything in your business. Part of your house will be
Right.
your business. I teach this.
Right.
But all this stuff where people be going, acting like it's some more stuff. You don't have to do none of that. This is just business 101. Like that's why I tell people this business 101. You have to take no course from mine. You give a donation, come, I'll teach you this. Like a college it'll take you what 3 months. I'm gonna do it in a couple weeks, and you're gonna
Nice.
learn the strategy. It's not gonna. It's no scam. I'm not gonna teach nothing when nobody get in trouble. Nothing. And then if I
Right.
teach you something, say if I teach it to you, that'll mean I might get rich. Say I teach you the strategy and whatever you're doing now, you don't maximize it and you become rich. That don't mean I'm rich because I'm teaching it to you. I'm just a teacher that had like a lot of people say, Sheik, I rather learn from you because you have real businesses. You go to the gym and your gym teacher fat as hell. You take a business course from a professor ain't never ran a business, so he can't tell you nothing in real life about quick 30. It's just paperwork and how to
Mm-hmm.
deal with accounts receivable, how to do certain
Mm-hmm.
things, how to, ask real questions. I talk about setting your business up with articles of organizations, setting it up different. for money
Right.
won't be waste like that. Setting yourself up on Duns and Bradstreet, you know? And so that, and what Duns and Bradstreet does is check your business line of credit as you
I'm
build it.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so all these things, it's just a class,
You can
but
find
all the
municipals on Dun and Bradstreet as well too.
other, and absolutely. And see, I'm glad you asked that. When people setting up trust, yeah, it got to be something in it. You can set things up in a trust to protect yourself, to protect your assets. Anybody can do that. That ain't got nothing to do with Morris Chance. I can show you 16 different trusts just off the damn top of the dome. Then you got to see which one fits your life. You
Right. You
see,
talk about statutory or a right to contract trust, like
it just
private trust.
depends. It just
Okay.
Private trust, most definitely.
for myself. See, for myself, I'm set up a situation where I would do a private trust for no one can touch it. It's like when people say you can drive, yeah,
Mm,
on your private land. You
right.
got the right to, yeah, you got to do anything. So I
Hmm.
would have a private trust. Like if I had a lot of things, I would have a living trust, or I would have an irrevocable trust. It just depends on what fits for my life, you know. And that's
Okay.
what I ask everybody: protect your assets. I wouldn't have no will. I wouldn't tell nobody to have no will right now because that's litigation. So
That's
if
right.
anybody got people, I tell everybody that got a bag, you need to get that will out of there because what? That's third party. That's litigation off the
You
top.
put the state in your business.
Yeah.
Mm,
So yeah, we've been going
okay.
for a minute. Anything
That's
else,
no
Nolan?
different than the marriage license.
The last thing is that you said work on. That's what I meant by status. You said work on identification,
Oh, okay.
classification.
So let me break this down simple. When you said status correction, you ain't it
Yeah.
ain't it ain't uncorrected. You now remember
Well, I
your
said
mama
update,
name.
but yeah.
You said a status correction per se or
I
update, but it
said
ain't nothing wrong.
yeah.
You
Okay.
corrected a mistake. Your
Yeah.
mama,
They
what's
say they
your
saying
last
I'm
name?
black. I don't like that. I want to change
Okay,
that.
watch this. Watch this. What's your last name?
Identification.
Simon, right?
My last name from my father's side is Cook.
Okay. So we
Yeah.
can say Simon Cook per se, right?
Well, Simeon, but yeah.
Yeah,
Simeon.
Simeon Cook. Okay. You
Yeah.
can one by one. It's nothing wrong. You can annex.
Okay.
You could correct. Watch this language. You can correct a mistake. Here it is. I'm playing pun. You at the window down at whatever municipal building to go get these things corrected. You behind the window, right? I'm coming in. I'm playing
Yeah.
stupid. Noonie, 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 noo. I come in, oh, yep, I need a birth certificate application and a driver license application. Oh, I lost it. Hey, man, when I was born, my mama didn't know who the hell we was. So I gotta annex my. You don't got to say this, but all you annexing your L or your Bay to your name. You don't got to go make no public stand. You do it. You correcting a mistake. You're
Ah.
not changing
S-
nothing.
well, when they ask for race or national or whatever, what do you put there? Other
Well, who asked
or
for it on the paper?
Oh yeah,
American?
who's asking for
That's
that?
it. Who asked for it on the
Government
paper?
organizations.
Like
Who
what?
asked when it's on the paper?
When a form says it, yeah,
So
What?
I'm glad. Look at
or
Malik
even
smiling like a
or
mug.
online or paper.
Because on your
Malik,
ID card, it don't
I,
state that. Like on your driver's license, it don't state that. It don't ask you for that. On your passport, it don't ask
I
you for that.
think
It asks if you're a
okay.
U.S. citizen, right?
I know when the
But you're
cops
talking
pull
about
you
applying
over,
for
or you get
jobs.
like a oh yeah, okay,
You're talking about applying for
so
jobs. It's a legal document, and that's self-identification.
right.
So
ding.
with that,
That's
you
a
got to understand who you are.
human rights Article 15, right?
Yes.
Right to
Well,
You have a
Malik
right
self-identify.
of
just mentioned it
nationality, a
for
right to
you.
change
He
your name,
said
be
that
arbitrarily
is a
denied their right.
yes.
Right.
So
Yes,
now
sir.
what Malik just told you, he actually said, so when you get a job and they got all these things on there and they say fill out all that best describe who you are, and you willingly pick black, that's on you.
Right.
Because that's what I've been telling people. They be like, what's on there? So what? I can put Boogie Monster on it. You
So
talk
That's
let me
about it's
ask
crazy.
you
on
this.
there, so what?
I know
Let
some
me ask
boys
you
that
this.
put white up there too
Okay, let
Okay,
me
now,
ask you this.
man.
because of
Now,
legal
now we're talking
definition.
about a legal document, right?
Yeah.
We talked about a book called White by Law, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a legal document and law have to coincide, correct?
Right.
So if you understand this now, right, when you go to fill that out, if you understand what the term, right,
White means okay.
free white persons with an S, plural, and they took the free off and they took the persons off and they just left white. Is it the same thing as free white persons?
No, it wouldn't be.
It
Because
is.
look what it
It
describes in
is.
white.
Okay.
That's
Look
why
at
I
the
said they
All right.
content.
took off, right?
Mhm.
I said they took off free and they took off persons. They just
Yeah.
left white.
Yeah.
Right.
So that term under your nationality, ethnicity, right, is now hidden because at first it used to say white, or then they abbreviate it because they'll use the word race / ethnicity, right?
Mhm.
So those things you have to understand what they mean and what they change. They play they play the word game, right? But you just have to understand what word game that they're playing because it's a legal document.
Right.
So you're self-identifying, right? It happened to me. I
Mhm.
was in Baltimore working, and I filled out the paperwork by myself. Boom, and I put Asiatic on there, right? And my doctor's form has it on his website. He has Moorish and he has Asiatic on there, so I put both,
Wow.
right? And I took a picture and I sent it to the group text. But so I filled it out in Baltimore, right? And so I go hand it in to the lady at the window, and she comes back and marks mine as African American. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
but she's not. That's illegal. She can't do that.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
So no, she's changing my document that I filled out, and she's
It's a
changing the way
federal
she
offense.
feels.
Mhm.
She can't do that because I'm self-identified. She can't self-identify for me, right?
Mhm.
Makes
So
sense.
what would that be? Fraud? No,
So
it would
what I
be
said is I didn't put this. She said,
okay.
well, in the computer, these are all the options that's the only option that they had. I said, well, that's not my option. I said, so give me the list of options. She went down the list and I said, oh, okay. Then I said, put white. And you should have heard a pin drop in that office because they
Yes.
don't understand. They
Yes.
don't understand that there's a legal document.
Yes.
African
Yes.
American is a term, a slave
Yes.
term.
Yes.
Right.
A legal slave term is self-identification. It ain't no different than marking black. It's illegal to be a Negro or a black
Right.
person, right?
Hmm.
AKA African American. All those are synonymous, AKA Ethiopian, right? These are in
Right.
agricultural laws as well, right? These are terms of property. It says it in the agricultural law. These terms are terms of property. African American, Ethiopian, black, Negro, colored, all those are terms of property. So if you're marking these terms of property on a legal document, you're not understanding law.
So do you go back and correct it all?
Oh yeah.
Simply, it's
Some
all
of it
you.
I do, and some of it I
Let me
don't
tell
worry
you. Let
about
me
it
tell you.
because
You
I
don't
sign
go
my
make a.
name with reserving my right with my L and Bay.
That's all you
Okay.
got. You don't have to go down there and make no grand statement at that window saying I'm correcting nothing. You replacing something. You replacing.
You annex. Annex.
That's all you doing. And you ain't got to tell
Okay.
nobody poo diddly because you're not
Okay.
changing your name. Your name, you just
Right.
annexing. Noble Drew Ali didn't change nothing. He was Timothy Drew Ali. He annexed his L or where his Ali to his name. So you can add that on your license and all that. You just do it the right way. Hey man, I need to, I lost my license. I need to get a new license. You annex your L or your B to your last name. Or your birth certificate, if you want your birth certificate, when you was born, man, my mother them didn't know. And it's no disrespect to them. They may know now. Like just like with me, I didn't know at a point. My parents didn't know. We know now, so I can correct it. Why? At a certain age, 18, you can change your name to Meta World Damn Peace. You can move for your family, so you can annex your L or your B to your name, your birth certificate. And on there, you can pick white. You have the right. You have the right, and that's what I say. You have the right. Your nationality,
All that
which
applies.
American. Yes, your status.
So this is the catch, right? It's a caveat to it because if you're marking all nationalities, even though it's not saying nationality, you have to understand these are nationalities. So if what is a Moor, right? Doesn't that
Yeah.
cover all bases? You have white Moors, so in essence, right? Do you have Moorish Britons?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Moorish Ethiopians?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so if these were the people or the one world Tartarians, they're Moors too, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
when you're filling out this and you know that it doesn't matter just because you're the things that you're practicing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Moorish American because my culture is Moorish, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
in America, right? So that makes me a Moorish American,
Copy.
right? So
Yeah.
if all people are Moors, they just don't know it. you have to mark, because we're all mixed, right? In some way, shape, form, or fashion when it comes to different nationalities and geographical locations. We're all a melting pot.
Right.
Right. So all these nationalities apply to most of us, pure point blank, because if we come from original people, right? One original people that, right? We're all connected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So just mark
Malik,
all the nationalities that apply.
well, before we close, have you ever looked at the SF 181 form, Noble?
I've heard
Simon,
about it. I think I might have it in my stuff.
this stuff people have to
Is that the
look at this
bond? Is
stuff.
that the standard form 181? Is that the bond or something like that?
No.
Malik just broke it down earlier. When you get a job, anything, it asks you to self-identify. I tell people to read it because most people, when they get these things, they just fill out black. I challenge a person to look at that SF 181 form and read it.
Okay.
That's where, because a lot of these things, when people say they've seen it, you have to see it for yourself. Because how you fill out, you are self-identifying. It's asking you questions.
But they also changed the verbiage on applications. So we got to
Yeah,
understand that part. So the
that's what we're
SFM
doing.
181 form is kind of outdated according to the way they're using that box on applications. That
Now,
makes
I'm
sense?
glad you said that. Now, the other level I didn't go with is that it's another thing called the SF 180. And that's where I haven't went yet. When it talks about why things and how things can be corrected, when you update everything, because they don't have to update nothing. It's all about you, you know? And it is tricky when you get that job because they do ask you on a job. And everything they ask you white, all this, but remember, ethnicity.
Ethnicity is not even a thing.
Remember the trick that what we said, remember it. That's why I tell people you
So
can
you're
get
on the
caught up.
red trail.
Yes, in linguistic apartheid, if you don't know the specifics, when you jump all the way out there, you're done. And there's no coming back. That's why I tell everybody to pause. When they talk about they
Yeah,
need to correct their status, I'm like, correct their status, what you mean?
oh, so what did Obama say, right? You have a nationality, you have a right to a nationality. It doesn't say race or ethnicity, right?
Nope.
It says you have a right to a nationality
Yep.
and you have a right to change it. No one
Yep.
will be arbitrarily denied that right. Right? It doesn't
Yep.
say it doesn't say you have a right to an ethnicity or race. It doesn't say that.
Nope. Nope.
It says you have a right to a nationality. So you got to figure out what nationalities are on that paperwork when you're filling out that form. And if it's
The
white by law,
181?
yeah.
When you look at white, it's connecting everything. When you look at the whole SF 181 form, and when you look at white, you're gonna be like Africa, North, South, you're gonna be like Africa. You're gonna be like, wait a minute. And so then that means that one can be you. It's three of them on there that can be you.
So you guys don't do American Indian?
So let me ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you, where are German people from?
Germany?
Okay, where are Italian people from?
Italy?
Where's Indian people from?
India?
Then you just asked me American Indian.
Right.
Does that term make sense now?
All right. Just looking at the definition of the category, it is an oxymoron, yeah.
Yeah. But this is stuff that when we sit down and have discussion, because you can fill out something that's meaningless, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to willingly not know. When you willingly sign, you can't blame nobody. It's like in court. It's like, it ain't our fault you don't know. There's no excuse of not knowing the law in a court of law. You came in here unprepared, sir. See?
The other part is those are terms that they label people here that look like us, right?
Right.
And we're the only ones that have all these different terms, right?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
names of identity. We got Negro, we got colored, we got black, we got African American, we got Ethiopian, we got Mexican, we got Nubian, we got all kind of these different names to throw you off the bread trail so you don't know who you are. Right? It's biblically it says you will be a slave in your own land and you will not know who you are because we're stiff-necked people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're the only people that have been enslaved in our own land and don't know our own identity.
Yeah, Islam. And we be arguing for nothing, and there's nothing to argue. I tell brothers, there's nothing to argue. You know, we can teach the history
And
the
then you
right
can
way.
add the ship part, right? Biblically, they talk about you were brought over here in ships and in bondage. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not true. What I'm saying, it didn't happen in the multitude that they did that they're saying, because it doesn't fit mathematically, right? They didn't have ships in that size to equate the stuff they're talking about, and you can't even show me a ship. And on top of that, I work for an airline industry. I work in transportation, and transportation. In order to secure all your property, right, you would have to have a UCC. UCC's been around for many moons. So who is it? Ferdinand Magellan is the one who funded Christopher Columbus' voyages, correct?
You're talking about
Isabella, right?
you're talking Ferdinand and Isabella, the first.
Ferdinand and Isabella, they funded Christopher Columbus' voyage, right?
Right.
So when he sent Christopher with all that stuff, how is he going to know what he had on there if he don't document it? And how is he going to ensure that stuff?
The shipping manifest or something like that,
which is the Uniform Commercial Code, right? UCC, right?
Yeah.
So that's all your information. So now, if slaves are property, right, wouldn't you have a manifest so that you can ensure, right? Say I had 10 slaves, right? And I put them on this ship, right? And say one of the slaves jumped off, right? Wouldn't I want to ensure that property of mine? So when I get to the next port, that hey, this jumped off, or whatever the case may be, or say I lost a dresser, right? You get to claim that on your insurance, right? When I get to the port, I'm writing all this report up. How are you going to? Because you cannot show me a manifest, right? To prove your property. So what I'm saying is, slaves are property under the context of what they've been explaining, right? You're gonna have to show me a manifest that documents what type of slave you had. It was 6 foot tall, dark hair, blue eyes, whatever the case may be, in order to make a claim.
They can't, because they always roll stuff down, or they put a flag when you go to the moon. You put a flag. That's why I be telling people, like, come on, stop playing. Anywhere you go, they always leave a mark. It's no mark. The one word Tartarian tail on them. Like I said, we ain't coming from we can come from any part of history and show you like it didn't happen like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of white slaves as well too. You know,
white cargoes. They were all the slaves.
Yeah.
Hey, but they're documented.
Yeah,
and we have the book to prove it. It's called the Jacobite.
The Jacobite. Okay.
Yeah. And you'll be amazed on the description of what the people look like and their names, and they're not slave names. They were in servitude, and they came over here through Ellis Island. But according to the way that they tell the story, right, they will tell you that all those people were white people, and that's far from the truth. And we have the document to prove it, and we can debunk all of that. And we had to come to Ellis Island because that was the agreement. There's a great movie with Will Smith called Hitched. He took his girlfriend to go trace her heritage back through Ellis Island. The only people who are not in that book are the people who lived here.
Yeah.
Which would be AKA us.
Yeah.
So you
I heard there was one more port that they was accepting people in, and they was changing their names. A lot of them took on like an identity switch. A lot of them took on Native American names, $5 Indian names, and stuff like that.
Indian name would be like a Washington, not Washington.
Yeah. Or Washita to Washington.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like to watch, like when you research Empress Gostin El Bay, it'll show you that. Like it's there. That's why we saying the name change. Washita to Washington. Turner, it was to Turner. It's there.
It's in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But name change, like I said, you can trace it. That's why when we have class and we be like, no, we don't destroy nobody's background, because you're gonna trace it. You have one nationality, many cultures. We ain't stripping your culture. I could take you to like Moso. I know Moso, our herbalist, he went to Honduras. Moso know about the Moordines. They still were Moors. We talk about the Sufi, they'll show you that they were Moors. Credo Matua in the Zulu that did with all the reptilians. He will tell you he a Moor.
So you believe in reptilians too, and shapeshifters and them?
I believe in science. I break the spell of the mystic science, because I deal with the pineal gland. And a lot of stuff, a lot of things I don't debunk. You know, do I believe in in different entities that's living in the world? Could be. But I deal with the wisdom because I know what they tried to destroy, the mind. And I know what a lot of powers they did with the Gateway Project and
So
Astro.
you mean the reptilian brain?
Yeah.
Ah,
The
okay.
understanding, the understanding how to do things in your mind. When I talk about the Gateway Project, when I talk about auto suggestion, when people be saying the
Right.
spaceships and people be seeing these things in pictures, but they don't be understanding the metaphysics of that. It's explaining something inside, but they get you with the
Right.
Exactly.
mystery.
So
They get you with the
let's
mystery
add that
spaceship. You
up.
see them old people that got a spaceship in the sky? Yeah, that's explaining something inside.
So
Ah,
that the whole reptilian thing, right? So think about this.
Yeah,
When you cut yourself, what happens?
you
it
bleed.
heals. Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh, it heals.
it does bleed, and then what happens?
Then it starts to heal, scab, and then heal. Yeah.
The scabs, and then you regenerate new skin from the inside out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'm telling. It's a lot of stuff, man. As we started teaching
Are you
private.
saying that that's reptilian in nature, or we're not the?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
Yes,
radiation,
yeah. Okay.
regeneration. Yes.
Okay.
yes.
I get what
Can
you're
we
Yes.
saying.
regrow bone?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so. I believe
Oh,
so. If you
I broke my
activate
finger
the
and
DNA.
regrew bone.
Oh, you mean
You
like
take
that? Yeah, definitely.
so
I
And
think that we can
maybe
regrow appendages and stuff like that too, as well. You
a
know.
lot of the science, we digress. See, a lot of the stuff, man, a lot of the science was just took away. It's in the Gateway Project. A lot of stuff when I talk about the
Is
spirit
that the
molecule, like
CIA Gateway Project?
Gateway,
Sorry. Sorry.
a lot of stuff we show you is just the mind working, using both parts of your brain, per se.
Right. The
Understanding,
hemisync.
yes, understanding the spirit molecule inside without taking drugs. When I talk about the DMT, the spirit
Mm,
molecule that's inside to activate your pineal, to show you how to
yeah.
astral project and
Yeah.
accomplish certain things. Like, for
Okay.
instance, in the churches, they took away the veils. Okay, well, those are frequencies. So when I deal with a lot
Mm.
of the Tibetan bowls and things, a lot of when you understand
Ah.
yeah, now you see what I'm saying. When you understand
Yeah.
certain figures and things, that's a
it's a,
part of
it's a
inner
state of
healing.
healing. Yeah,
Right.
it's a
Yes,
state of healing. Yeah.
yeah. And once that happened, it connects everything. So all I'll be trying to show people when they be talking about some magic stuff, I said, man, no,
Mm-mm.
it's all science. We can talk about the Taoism, but it's all going to bleed back to the one key. So I just try to
I
show
was
everybody the keys and synchronize it
I
for it
was
won't be no
watching
spoofing.
right. I was watching a documentary on Rosicrucianism, and you know how we always talk about definitions and when
Mhm.
they were used, and magic wasn't like considered trickery back then. It was it's considered something different. Like I forgot how
Science.
he described it. Yeah, science. It was science. It was more like, you
Mhm.
know, alchemy and things like that. It was because it wasn't considered like, you know, oh, pick a card, any card kind of
Right.
So
magic, or
think
like
about
Right.
this.
David Blaine or something.
So
Pat,
think about like when you took people out of being civilized, or they were uncivilized, right? And then you
Hmm.
take them to, start teaching them to take baths, cleaning themselves, right? And
Right.
teaching them this higher science of themselves. They think that it's magic, right? Because
Right.
there's nothing they can ever fathom of thinking about, right?
Hmm.
They think that it's magic, but it's something that is part of science in the world and nature that we already knew.
yeah.
They just took and flipped it, right? And then brought
Hmm.
Yeah.
it to the rest of the world after destroying a whole bunch of civilizations because they wanted to bring Christianity to the world
Yeah.
because they wanted to write
But
themselves into history.
Yeah.
right.
And all those
But
across the stuff they wouldn't be
that
afraid of.
magic's all
Like,
under Christianity. They keep that in the higher ups. They just don't tell the masses about it, but they
They
practice
call
it.
it mysticism.
Yeah.
yeah, and the Gnostic teachers, like all the Gnostic books we teach, all the Rosicrucian manuals, because I'm part of the Philosophical Society, and I tell everybody, all the Rosicrucian
Okay.
manuals I have, we break them down. I'm not gonna hide nothing from
The
no one.
monographs,
I got it.
or is it
Yeah,
something different? Okay.
all my movie got. I have all the literature. I have all the books. I was initiated through a lot of science. Like I tell
All right.
people, I've been through the Philosophical Research Society. All my Rosicrucian affiliation, with my regalia, I share with my brothers and sisters. It's a
Mm,
connectivity of wisdom. A lot of people just don't know. It's like it's comedic science. All the signs
right.
and the symbols, all the signs and the symbols, when you see in different levels of masonry, it ain't nothing but the compass and square. The compass and the square is two tools. One of the damn tools you use in elementary school. I hope you know this
Hmm.
when I be talking to nobles. I said all
Right.
those systems is one for the astrological, and it's one to circumscribe the world and yourself. And those are the workman
Hmm.
tools. And when I deal with the Atlantis of the Latter Days, which one of the high European Mason books, which is only 32 and 33 degrees, they deal with the
Mm,
Osiris mysteries. That's all this stuff is. All this stuff is Osiris mysteries. I don't care if they call it a rose and a cross or the, whatever. It's going to lead back to the same thing. And that's why I give all the wisdom, like Albert Churchward. He wrote a book called Signs and Symbols of the Primordial Man, where
right.
primordial is the
Okay, you talked
ancient
about that.
name. Yes.
Okay.
So it's no biasness. The compass and the square, those are tools. These are elementary tools. So when we see things, people have taken your science and took and took the graphs and made those lower levels of Masonic. You know, that's all. So in the
And that's why
Masonic
they have to
house,
take the
brother,
oath to keep it. They're
yeah,
not supposed to teach you because they didn't teach themselves. Like we taught them. So
Right.
when
they had
you
to take an oath in order not to share the secret because it's not for them to be sharing unless it's amongst each other of themselves. And we're supposed to teach each other. And what has flipped is that they convoluted us into thinking that they're the ones who taught, especially when they came over here, they convoluted to thinking that they taught us. And that's far from the truth. So what ended up happening, they had to take an oath, right? And then they use people who look like us to infiltrate us. That's the only way that you can infiltrate a group. You can't infiltrate a group by looking like somebody else. And
nope,
it's in history, right? How did they kill
Oh,
Malcolm X?
the Jews did that.
Hold on, but how did they kill Malcolm X?
They killed Malcolm X with his own people at a
Okay,
speech,
how did
right?
they kill the
Supposedly,
Black Panther Party?
um, by accusing them for selling crack. Oh, they killed Huey P. Newton too, right?
Yeah, but how did they do it? They used in order to get all the intel,
Propaganda,
right?
yeah,
In order to get all the
infiltration.
intel, they used somebody that looked like you.
yeah.
Ah,
How they killed
okay.
Patrice Lumumba? They
They
in the
used
Congo.
somebody that looked like him.
Ah,
So our own
Yes,
problem is us. They can't get out. They can't get the intel without somebody that looks like us. That's the key.
yeah. Finding a rat, mole, or something.
Yeah.
and that's the
Cutting
whole
them out.
thing, Malik. And see, and Nobles, that's the whole thing. What I'm saying with this, that's why we go in private because this stuff, this propaganda, it's something happening. Even in the Moorish movement, it's like, wait a minute, we can't. It's like we digressing because all this information is right there.
Right.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it's nothing to debunk. I did this in college with European. They was like, well, what's up with your people? I'm like, I don't know.
Because they're arguing in feelings and not they don't have no factual basis. So everything is English is such a feeling based language, right? Because it changes and based on how people feel. I want this to make it feel so good over here. But when you break down the elementary etymology of these words, you start to get to the
Uh-huh.
origin of really what you're saying. And I'll use a
Right.
Yeah,
word like you say, nice, right? If you go look at the etymology of nice, it's completely opposite of what you've been taught to believe what it means.
Right.
So to take the belief out, go back and trace the etymology of that word, and then now you understand the essence of what you're saying, the origin of where this word
Right.
comes from, and
I
really
heard the
the
same
purpose
thing
of what
about
you're using.
blessing.
yeah,
Right.
Blessing. I heard the same thing about blessing. That it doesn't mean what we think it means, the etymology
yeah.
of it.
I always tell people to be like the context and like people say, well, what Queen mean this? Well, what you mean? Because Queen Khalifa. So it's always be careful of context. You know what I mean, Noble?
Context. Copy. Yeah.
Always. I always be careful of context and how we using the word and why we using certain things. You can be using, like for instance, we know black means dead. We can be using it in the manifestation to teach. So a lot of times when I say black, when I'm just teaching from a old perspective, but I correct because black has no standing in law, and that's how I open
Right.
up dialogue. So when I'm
Right.
teaching, I say black has no standing in law. I might say it's civil mortis, and when I'm lecturing, the student will look it up, and be like, "What the hell? That mean dead to die the law?" And boom, it'll
Uh-huh.
spark where you
Start to
need to
connect.
go. Like,
Right.
yeah, like Malik is doing right here. It's sparking so much stuff because once you look up one thing, it's gonna take you there, and it's a build.
Right.
It's a build. It's almost like you building yourself. You building the perfect man. It's like, you want to stand
Hmm.
correct, so you don't be doing it arbitrarily. Oh, I thought. Oh, I heard, and somebody said this word. No, you want to know for a fact what not to do.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I liked you. I was gravitated towards you because of the you back up a lot of what you're saying. A lot of times they got this rhetoric where it sounds good, it makes sense, but where can I look this up at, or how can I prove this, or how can I explain this to others, and have proof to back it up besides, oh, he told me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So, yeah.
yeah. Or try to make you believe how I believe. I said no. If I'm just a teacher, so
Right.
we should just teach. My brothers choose to wear their turban and to do all this. Like it's a choice. Like
Hey, so
everything we do is a choice. But like I say, that's what I love with this cipher. And I tell people, come join us. Come do the research because it is a thing. It's a thing called peer reviewed scholarly research. And when we're
yeah,
Right.
dealing
when
with
you
history,
look up the word blessing, right? I just looked
mhm,
up the word because you brought it up,
yeah,
right? I like the
mhm,
research. So when you trace back to the origin of it, and it's German, it means
yep,
stupid.
yep.
Stupid.
What did Christian
That's
mean? Just like I
crazy.
said.
That's
Now y'all want
crazy.
to get
But those are
okay. Since y'all did it,
hold on,
since you
because
opened it up, and I tell people when y'all open up a can of worms, I got to go there. So screw it. Let's do the work. That's Christian doom. That's
yeah,
the Calvinist perspective and the Reform perspective. That's to keep you in slavery. That's the Protestant. So when we talk about Christian,
Ah,
Cretan, the etymology of Christian is Cretan, dumb, retired, and stupid, missing a limb,
lame.
lame.
that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And so they left all of so they want to say pagan and all this. They left all that stuff for them dumb Christians. That's why in the Bible, in Jeremiah chapter 10, it said, don't follow the Nicolaitans. What? Following St. Nick. When they say cutting the tree down, wrapping it with gold, all this is said, you don't follow the Nicolaitans following St. Nick. It's telling you
And
what not to do.
Christians won't even read it because what? What does it say? They're stupid. Sorry, but
Because they
not
said they
sorry.
stupid and we don't know
Because
it.
they
So
bless
just
you.
like you
They
said
bless
that, oh,
you.
we're gonna bless you. Yeah, we bless the stupid. They under Yule, they under the log celebration. So we can bless these stupid Cretans. They stupid.
So they teach. So would a pastor be considered stupid too,
Yes,
or
the Bible says, woe to you, lying pastors. I just lectured this the other day. Man, I used to be in all the churches. I don't come from no faucet. The
But
Bible says,
I know some
yes, yes,
higher ups,
yes.
they'll be scholars in theology and
They
Christianity and
lying.
stuff and
They
teach
know they
it.
lying.
So they
But
wolves
they
in sheep
Masons.
clothing.
They
Okay, they playing
Masons. No
stupid.
disrespect.
Okay,
All of them are
yeah,
Masons. It's no disrespect. I love everybody. I love all
right.
my brothers and sisters. But when you take an oath and you got a PhD and you a Mason, that means you know what I'm saying. That means you took an oath to not tell the truth. You took an
So
oath
when I
to,
how do you tell your mother that though, or your grandmother that Christian
you
means
know.
It's
stupid?
right in
You
there,
know
though.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Do I should
You don't
you
gotta tell
go
them they know. I swear, I love all my family. They play
you gonna
stupid. They
crush
playing
people?
stupid
You
too.
know?
No, my
Yeah.
dad right here. Noble, my
So
dad
look,
right here. My dad was a Mason. My dad right here. My dad is an elder. My dad right
My
here.
grandfather was a Mason. Yeah.
It's
my
a
mom
lot.
not crushed.
I don't
My
hate no
mom not
one.
crushed.
So how do you tell them? It ain't nothing to tell them.
My mom was ecstatic when she came on here to class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my mom came to class a few times, and she about to come back. But yeah, she said that because of me studying this, and because we have conversations, she said I learned a lot from you, son. She said because this is what we needed to learn in school, and I had to tell Mama it's not too late, Mom. The fact that you know it now, you can teach your grandchildren and your great
But
grandchildren. So it's never too late because you're still breathing. So it's
Yep.
not too
right,
late. It's not the fact that you didn't learn it then. It's the fact that you're getting the information now, so you can teach what you learned late. You can teach it to the youth
right,
so they learn it early. So it's never too late if you're breathing, right?
Yep.
So it's not
right,
about you got to do it out of love. It's not out of I'm right type deal, right? It's let me
Yeah.
show
right.
you, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be an egotistical thing and say, hey, let's back the feeling about of it and let's go what we can prove on a factual basis because in the Bible it says prove all things, hold fast to what is good. It doesn't say prove all things based on how you feel. It doesn't say that. It says, prove
Mm-hmm.
all things, hold fast to what's good. So if it's good and you can prove it, rock with it. But if you
Right.
can't prove it, you got to drop it.
You
And
must.
everything we can prove using the Bible.
Yep. Log
Mm.
of its own events.
And
I always say
can't
this,
just
though,
have a Bible. You got to have a dictionary, right? To break
mhm.
down the etymology of a word, right? To its origin. And you might have to have another book to break that down. But the good thing about it, and we have technology, right? We have technology that actually helps us and make things easier in life because it's at the drop of a dime that you can look this information up and show
Yep.
people
Right.
like that
Yep.
because we're in the information age.
and you got references. Like anything you come, I'm gonna give you scholarship. In academia, we call a thing called peer-reviewed scholarly research. So if we're talking about history or any biblical context, it must come from peer-reviewed scholarly research, or it's your belie, which is your belief system.
Right.
Remember the word belief, it's a word called belie, believing in things that can be proven. We're not arguing with that. So if you say you a scholar of this, well, it's you got to prove it based off the peer-reviewed scholarly research.
Yeah,
So
somebody in nursing had told me about that because I was trying to make some points and they kept saying, that specific, I think it's called empirical data. And
mhm,
you need that peer-reviewed data that's more generalized based on
mhm,
certain tests and stuff. But it's hard to
mhm.
find. You can't find that on Google like that. You need that Google Scholar and
Oh, hey,
and
I'm glad
university
you're on here.
access.
So now remember a lot of the stuff you saying I talked to my muftis about. So when I first was in my academic endeavor, when I was getting my dual master's degree, I wrote the carrier of Oxford, Harvard, and Cambridge. And I got
Mm,
introduced to their libraries because their libraries at the universities is trash. And then you use the
uh-huh.
online libraries. So that's how I met the Philosophical Research Society. I got introduced to the
Ah,
Philosophical Research Society through professors that when they met me, they was like, no, you got to start your own. You need your own charter. You way past 32 degrees because I already was dealing with the spirit builders. Spirit builders is a level of Masonic level. It's almost like the Sufi, the Tasawwuf of Islam that I teach. But the spirit builders of Masonic is a whole nother level when you connect God and man, you know? So
mm.
a lot of this stuff, you have to be able to get the research and bring it back to your people like I'm doing. I was introduced to it. That's why I tell it, but I'm always be transparent, always transparent. And
So
that's why
how
I
we
say I
how do we
can,
get it? So you're the source for that, the peer review data and the
yes,
stuff we can't.
that's what yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. That the
okay.
thing, anybody know me, any professors, if you go on GCU campus, they got my name in the best of you to, if you need help or studying, peer
Oh,
review
it's
books,
like
they got me
that.
in there.
Okay,
I used to lecture every Wednesday at GCU. I used to sell
okay.
so many books because I have a library, and so I used to help the kids not eat up their financial aid money. And so all the books they had, I converted them to ebooks. And so a lot of
Right.
history books, I let them get them for donations and give them a tax exempt receipt. I've
No,
built.
if you was a professor, it wouldn't be Black history you teaching, but would you be under that category to let people
They
know
wouldn't
the
let me.
truth?
It wouldn't be Black history. It'd have to be civics, or it'd have to be world history,
Civics,
or I
world
would teach,
history.
or I would teach medieval times, or I teach first century history,
Ah,
you know. So it ain't no such thing as African American history. I lectured in the African American department at GCU, and the professor quit.
stop lying.
Bro, like I'm dead serious.
Damn,
I like I debunked what it was. They was making a lot of the students come in and required reading was reading Willie Lynch. That was required reading for
that's
for the students to come
crazy.
in. And so my professor, which is a European Jewish, Scottish Rite, all you got to do is go on the internet and research Noble Drew Ali 135th birthday and the Scottish Rite European Mason. Like, how y'all don't know about Noble Drew Ali? But anyway, I lectured that in there and I showed that like Black was not used to describe nobody in first century, and why will any professor have this required reading coming in to the first year students? Man, looking stupid because it's propaganda to keep your kids subjugated, to keep in your mind. It's I can't forget the elder name. His name. He wrote the books, The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and Girls. He wrote a whole series
Mm.
of it. And yeah, and I lecture this stuff. I just bring things back, and I say nothing changed today. When we have our own professors that'll have our kids read some Willie Lynch and some Bruce, and it's fake. And
So
so
there's a comparison
I
you
would
can
have
use
to have
too,
the
right?
freedom to teach it, and you don't have to have, and you don't have the freedom to teach this in academia because it's a thing called the reading list that you have to teach. Certainly, I will have to teach it like on my own private because it
Is
go
that color
against.
Rockefeller? Same thing with medicine and stuff too, right? Where they have like a certain curriculum you gotta stick
Yeah,
to, or else, yeah.
it's just a curriculum.
But whose
Now
schools
for
are they?
me,
That's what you
now
have
for
to
They,
me,
understand.
I can't hear
you
you,
have to
Malik.
prove it. You have to prove it. That's how I grad. You have to prove yourself. When I got my dual
Okay.
master's degree in first century history and religion, I couldn't use stuff off the internet or people. Well, they said this and they mean it. I have to prove it from scholarship. So I proved that the misnomer Black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone, without no biasness, without no prejudice.
With
You
just
know,
the Bible?
Yeah, and I proved, yeah.
Well,
Bust their
hold
head
on.
wide
What
open.
Bible? The Septuaginta, the Apocrypha,
Which one
King
you get? The King
James,
James, the King James, the
the
NIV, the
Ethiopian.
Layman Tongue. I don't care which one you get.
Okay.
Anyone you choose. I can carry anyone you choose. Let's get the King James version
Hold
because
on.
that's in current Greek. And I
Let me
proved,
simplify it, Pete. Let me simplify it. Right?
yeah.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
simplify it. So in the continent of Africa, right? Ethiopia, we'll just use North, South, West Africa, right? Sorry, East Africa, right? If baby Jesus was being hidden, or Moses was being hidden, right?
Right.
How would he hide if he had blonde hair and blue eyes?
He couldn't.
No
So
way
what's that
possible.
mean? Paul?
Say that again.
I said, well, what's that mean by default then? If he
That
couldn't hide with blonde hair and
he
blue eyes.
wasn't a white man. That's Caesar Borgia, I think they said it is. That's not
Caesar
Jesus.
Borgia, a
Yeah.
false image of Caesar Borgia, none real.
But we know that part, but right, this is how you
Mm-hmm.
debunk it through scholarship because that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, right? And the only way
Right.
to prove that is basically say what I just said is like, okay, if he was hiding, right, and we know what the people look like even now. You can't tell me that they changed from white to dark skin because it doesn't happen scientifically at all,
Right.
unless you
But
have
Greeks were known to do that though, to take gods from other cultures
yeah.
and
That's why it's
whitewash
called
them.
Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Mythology. Yeah.
It's a myth.
But
It's not
but
true. It's
but
not
Wow.
based on facts.
and even biblical history, like Nobles, when all Joseph kids, like when you read the Bible, it's from scholarship, it can just be proven. Like I said, it doesn't matter when it's taught the right way. When they say color don't matter. Simon, they say Niger. No, that's nigger. No, in the Bible. And then when you explain it, it shows you so much. It means shiny black, like so much. It
What
goes
about
back. It's not
Naga?
being,
Naga. I heard that's a
yeah, that's
good.
good. Well,
He's
Nagas.
like
Yeah,
king.
it's like niggas.
Negus. Negus and
Well,
Naga.
but
Yeah.
Nagu.
that's Ethiopian. That's just another word for certain people in the area. When you research right now, the little European boy spelling niggas on Google, and he asked for the etymology. Can you put it in a sentence? You know,
Ah.
when you under yes, and he said, "Oh, niggas," and he spelled it a certain way because he understood. He asked for the etymology. He asked for the origin of the word and the root of the word. He
Right.
acted, but what Malik is breaking down when I say I teach this is very simple. It's you have to have the tools, and when you have the tools, all anger will be removed. Oh, I ain't giving to you then, my bad.
See, the funny thing is Nigeria, Niger,
Yep.
Mali, right? All of that in Ghana, right? All of that is right there by each other. And that's
I
all
Mm-hmm.
West Africa.
hold on. Yeah, I get it for you. You
All
about to
that's
go, Daddy?
so-called
Okay.
West Africa, right? Which is where they so-called
Yeah.
got the slaves from, right?
Right.
So isn't it funny how they use some of these terms, but then leave out the Mali Empire and all of their historical references?
Right. They want us to think that we started in slavery, or we was savages.
So
We didn't build any
I
of this.
Allah gave me a story, right? The
Right.
story is I use the concept of zebras and giraffes, right? I said, well, which one of them can actually hide in the desert and in the jungle? A zebra or a giraffe? Which one can
Yep.
In
blend
the
in?
desert and the jungle.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I'm not going to even try and guess, but I
a
would
giraffe,
probably say a giraffe. Yeah.
right? So check this out, right? So now let's say we got zebras and giraffes in the same area, right? Geographical area, and the because giraffes are gentle, they kind, right? And they said, hey, let
Oh, they
our
be
children come
banging.
over there, huh?
And I'm sorry, not to get off your point, but they be fighting. They be swinging the necks.
Oh yeah, they do amongst themselves, right? But they said, hey, let our kids want to come play with your zebra kid. And they said,
Yeah.
no, we don't like you long neck animals. You know what I mean? We're gonna be over here by
Yeah.
ourselves, right? So now
Hmm.
they all eat fruit from a tree, right? So zebras can only reach the low hanging fruit, right? And
Copy.
this is
Yeah.
biblical too. They only can reach the low hanging fruit.
Right.
Giraffes can reach the high fruit at the top of the tree, right?
Copy.
So
Yeah.
the giraffes also can eat the fruit from the low part of the tree, right? Because when they're
Yeah.
baby. So
Hmm.
now the food is getting scarce at the bottom of the tree, not a lot. So the zebras got together and said, hey, you know what? Your teenage kids, your kids can go over and play with our kids, right? So what they
Hmm.
did is be kind to them, right? They said, hey, why don't you knock some of that fruit down for us? Talking to the teenage and the child giraffes that's taller than the zebras. Boo, knock that stuff down for us, right? They said, all right, cool. They knock it down, that they can eat, right? Zebra said, hey, you know what? Your kids can come over here and play with our kids. Matter of fact, they can go to our school. How about that? We'll just integrate them, right? The parents said, oh, yeah, sure. Let's do that. We're rocking with
Keep going.
Right?
Keep going, though.
We're rocking with it. So, 10 years later, right? What you think a giraffe is going to learn at zebra school?
Yeah, that he a zebra.
Right? I choose these animals because they taught a black and white construct. Zebras are black and white. Right? We are multicultural, right? With the blend of sand and all those things, right? But we also have a higher aptitude, which I use a long neck for, because we can reach the pinnacle if we use this mind that we have. We stopped using the mind that we had and lowered ourselves to the height of a zebra. Right? In this black and white construct, because things are not just black and white. One is a multitude of colors, one's the lack thereof. Right?
And see, yes.
So the mindset is we went into the white, which is blank, right? Because this is what they taught us, to be blank. And then they taught us
surface
the narrative.
level.
Correct. They taught us the narrative that they wanted to feed us. And we stopped teaching our kids at home. And I say, hey, welcome to the United States.
I completely agree. I think that the administration of, our people, especially in America, we don't marry ourselves, we don't, bury ourselves, we don't birth ourselves, we don't do anything really. We don't do any administration at all.
You see, Noble, what you just said, all those things, we still willingly do. And that's where you get here when, like, willing obligor. You can't bring up no crimes or say you was abused when you're a willing obligor. Like when you go to the city hall and get married. That's a third party contract. You don't have to get married on all these things that we teach from a right way. You don't have to do.
Like a will. Marriage license and will is the same thing.
Though the establishments are set up to say, if you don't have your religious organization set up, well, we will fill that role. And when we fill that role, you obligated under our bylaws.
Are you under a 508c1a or a 503, 501c3?
Oh,
I tell you now.
Never asked that question.
Well, I can tell you. Go ahead.
Are you under a 508c, a faith-based organization, or are you under 501c3, the nonprofit?
I'm under a charter.
A charter.
I'm under a charter, and I'm tax exempt for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, donation wise. Yeah. So fair if you're a regular work in this, and I'm glad you asked this. I'm so happy. We've been for 2 hours, but this is what I tell people. No, you're great. No, this is a beautiful question. That's what Malik said. He was like, wow, because I teach this too. I tell people remove all the feelings and deal with doing business. So when you're doing business, to get people that's working and feel good about donating, and you can give them a tax exempt receipt, your business have to be set up a proper way. Now, people be saying, oh, if you 501c3, you ran by the government. No, you ain't. I ain't ran by no government. What it is, I don't have the FBI, which is the faith-based initiative. I don't get money from the government to run government-mandated churches and things. Now, some churches might. You understand? I have my legal document to do business. So if all my brothers say they make $1 million, and they say, well, Sheik, are you set up the right way? We donate to you. We can get a tax exempt receipt. We can get to this tax preparer, and we can help you become what you need to be to give the tax exempt receipt. I can. If anybody want that paperwork, no matter who they are, no matter if they're not in the science and they want that paperwork for me to donate, I do business. I'm not going to let nothing I heard from no jackleg mess up my business. If I want to open a school in the community, people in the community can donate, and I can open up our charter private school, which I'm working on right now, being in a building, asking people for donations for my family and other things, to where we want to buy one of these old buildings, and the people that donate, they get a tax exempt receipt each year to claim for their taxes, instead of giving all your money to Uncle Sam. All my European
is we can have both.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
You should have both. The reason why we a charter, we can go and operate just like the Ku Klux Klan. Say we want to march with our arms and do a protest. We got a charter. All we got to do is get a permit.
Okay. Now the first thing you mentioned, you said research, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. As scientific research, as a 501, you do have a lot more freedoms,
Hmm.
especially of what you can and can't do, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I'll just be honest,
leave
Noble.
it
I'll be
like
like,
that.
hey, some people like, well,
Yeah.
they don't want to do it. Fine. That's on you. You ain't doing business. You ain't finna meet a person that you doing business with. They be like, okay, sir, I'll donate $500,000 to you. Just let me show you your paperwork for you. Give me a tax and receipt. You can't even give them a tax and receipt. You can't even show proof of people supporting you. I can. I can show them receipts of people donating 20,000 a year. They'd be like, oh,
That's
and then I teach,
that's a
and then I teach it
you
the
keep
right
your
way.
books. Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
keep your books. Yeah,
yeah.
But then
that
you
I
know
that
teach
the
is
it the
true.
right way for people to deal with it.
between that.
I don't do this to get paid, but I show people like as we working, the money that we giving Uncle Sam, we could take a small tittle of that. And how I show people, I said 300 people giving $100 a month. At the end of the year, that's $360,000 a year, and that ain't even a dent in nobody's income, so it won't even offset none of your taxes because that's not going to be too much money depending on how much you make in the year before taxes. So if you're making
Are you
40,000 a
did
year,
you build credit with are you building credit with your organization? Because that's not a bad
yeah,
idea because for most places you need
we have credit.
20% down. And
Our
not
business
and that's
credit through the
only
roof.
if you can't prove that the place will make money, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because if you get
yeah,
as part of the cap rate, you get like, income
yeah,
or cash flow projections or
yeah,
documentations from these buildings.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can get a nice
yeah,
place, bro. Six
yeah,
million. Yeah.
brother.
It's a lot of
I tell
empty
you,
schools. It's actually one
no.
next to not right by me that's an empty school they ain't doing nothing with. You know what I'm saying?
Now
That'd be a
you
beautiful
understand what
thing.
I'm saying. And what I'm
Oh,
doing,
What city you
definitely.
in?
I'm in Flint right now, Noble.
No,
So
I'm
I'm
in
in Flint.
no.
I'm
Yeah,
in Hagerstown, Maryland. I'm about an hour from Baltimore.
my
Oh, okay.
Mufti in Maryland.
Yeah. I just
Moso.
Moso
moved
in
out here.
Maryland.
I'm from the Bronx originally. You said what?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Moso in Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yep.
We need a link. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
ASAP.
I
Y'all
was
need to link.
I was out there last year for a whole month.
Okay,
Yep.
where you at, Malik?
I'm in California, but my
Oh,
job,
okay, you in
gave me
Cali.
opportunity to temp out there, and so I went out there for a whole month.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I
you say
worked
you in
at
the airline
BWI.
industry?
Yeah, I worked at BWI for a whole month.
Oh, okay. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
I got family out there too.
That's
Yep.
what's up.
Yeah, Noble.
Yeah.
We can do real business, and that's what it's about. We don't want to give all our money to Uncle Sam because they sit in the private banking system. You have the
I
right.
don't keep it
Like,
funky. I don't want to give nothing. I'm trying to
yeah,
figure out how to do this
listen.
properly. The
As I tell
W-4
everybody,
termination, W-8 Ben, I've been looking into that, trying to,
it's
exempt
a way to do
myself a
things,
little bit.
bro. And I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about that. It's a way to do things. The religious rights trump everything. Once we
Right.
understand that, we do everything under the what? Our religious rights. We have a religious community.
Yeah. First
People
Amendment.
watch The Sopranos and didn't even get the idea what The Sopranos about. I did a whole lecture about Sopranos. Had my European colleagues going crazy. Like, wait a minute, how you know all this, dude? I'm looking at the business. I know what's going on.
Hey,
I see what's happening.
Yeah,
hey,
the
this
mob got shit locked down.
city.
Definitely.
Remember,
You know the
lawyer
difference.
and client confidentiality. Black people don't have it.
Hold on,
So,
Sheik. Hold on, Sheik. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question
mhm,
first.
mhm.
Do you know the difference between a Baptist church and a Catholic church?
I would say the surface level is black and white. Most Baptist churches are black, and Catholic churches are usually filled with white people. One's has well the Catholicism has their own a different Bible than the King
Mhm.
James. They do different rituals as well too in the
Mhm.
Catholic Church. Baptist is
Mother,
more
Jesus and Mary.
singing. I think it has some influences of Yoruba and stuff like that as well, as far as like catching the spirit and you know. But anyway, that's what I know so far, surface level,
All
like
right.
just from you
So
asking the
he just
question.
kind of gave you the answer. They have client attorney privileges. Do you know why that
Ah,
is?
n- like the confession thing? No, I
Boom.
don't know. I don't know.
That's it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's set up in their bylaws, right? That
There you go. Okay,
they
now
will
I hear
take
you.
care of their own people, whether they break the law or not, right? And the priest will
Okay.
go get you out of prison, right? Or you won't even ever go. Think about all the priests in Catholic churches who's
Say that
molested.
again, because I have a friend that does that
Listen, so check it
with
out.
the priest getting them out of prison. getting his flock from
So
or getting them
because
out of trouble and shit. Yeah.
It's called an
because
OR
church
bond.
and state is
Ah,
separate, right? Church and
yeah.
state is separate, right? So if you're under the religious organization, they take ownership, responsibility for you, right? So you're gonna have to
Right.
show me a priest who's actually been to jail for all the molesting and all those other terms that have been happening in these Catholic churches, right?
Nah.
You have to show me one that's went to jail,
Nah, don't they get punished by the Catholic Church? They get put in some,
quote
if
unquote.
that, yeah, put in some different,
They strip
removed.
them away.
I'm
Yeah, they
going on
ship them away. There
vacation.
you go. They go do it somewhere else.
Hello.
Yeah.
And
So
so, and
so
that's the
so
thing.
People are
so it's
saying
in the
it's not
bylaws, is
slander,
what
it's
you're
not.
saying. Like their bylaws, constitution for the church, or the
Well, it's just
documents
like
that establish.
remember I said the religious laws trump everything. The religious
Yeah.
laws trump
Copy,
everything. So
copy.
now you got to understand that you're not black. Black has no standing in law. So if the religious laws trump everything, I can't be black in religion. Only way I can be black in religion is I'm a slave, a baptized black slave. So if that's the case, I need to know something. I
Right,
can't be under that doctrine. I can't be under
right,
that. That's why I can't be a black preacher on paper. I'm a rabbi. I'm a teacher, and so
right,
I'm not a black preacher. That to me,
right.
that's anti-Semitic. Anything somebody comes and say to black to me, that means I'm under a certain jurisdiction. I'm not that. I have lawyer and client
Exactly.
confidentiality. Anytime somebody say
Right.
that, I'm going crazy, just like the Europeans are anti-Semitic because I'm not black. I already told you for the record, I'm not black. So why would you call me that? Before I have a conversation with anybody, I state for the record, I'm not black. I'm not
Okay.
black.
But but don't you need to have these things documented,
Yeah.
especially for court?
Okay, now I love these questions. What are you going to court for? Because when people
As
always say
a as a well,
they
usually
say they're city.
I found out about more science and secure parties
Mhm,
slash creditors from getting locked up for something. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And
mhm.
that's why how I found out about it, and I started like diving real deep into it. But I would say, yeah, for if you're in trouble or something like that, would probably be the thing. Not much more, not much like suits or lawsuits or anything civil, more
All right.
criminal.
Well,
I would
so
probably
say if
say,
you
which is
kill
not
some,
good,
okay.
but
So
I
say if
know
somebody
some.
kills somebody, they think because they did a status correction or say if you kill somebody, you think cause they think because they
That's
are
kind of
more than
severe. That's top though. You
they
know.
will name a different one. I want to give me a scenario. We got a little
Um,
time. Okay, I'll give you another one.
well, crimes are commercial, so maybe like fraud or something. You know.
Fraud on well, remember anything you sign is a willing obligor. When you get the contract in your
Right.
face and you understand that you're a willing obligor. So on a contract, any contract, they got reserving a right. What? Reserving their right to take you to court. Now, are you reserving your right? What? To do the same thing. They say, I can't pay for it. Explain it. I can't pay for nothing. You got to reserve your right because you are a business. It's certain things that we got to understand. What? I reserve my
On the
right to protect.
signature, like all rights reserved. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
ARR or UCC 1-308.
Yeah. You just reserving your right to defend yourself if someone accusing you of anything. Just like when you
Right.
sign something, you can't be signed anything coerced. You have to know. And so that's like what I tell anybody, like a cell phone. I know a lot of more say, well, I ain't gonna pay this. And I say, well, did you get the phone? And they be like, yeah. Well, I don't look big. I didn't know. I said, but did you get the phone? They say my name in all caps. Okay. Then I say, okay, well, I write your name in lower letter. This your name? Yep. Well, you done. Then I lock you up for 40. Then I can lock you up for 48 hours. That's contempt of court because it's a game. And a lot of people don't know the name, the game that you playing. My name is in caps. I don't care. I write in lowercase. I write in cursive. See how the game changed when you don't know?
Right.
It's very simple.
Okay.
It's never, like that's like I know a lot of Moors in jail. They tried to come with that CMB stuff, and you know what happened to them? They was in one of those little homes for months, having to get evaluation.
Right.
I'm just being honest. They come with that CMB stuff. I said, man, a lot of stuff is fake. That man ain't graduate from college. Just like a lot of stuff people be saying, you got to fact
Yeah.
check it. Is you got to fact check it. He said he
Right.
graduated from these universities. When you look up the time of the university, you look up the yearbook. His ass ain't nowhere. Just like if I say I graduated from Grand Canyon University in 2017, you can look me up in the archives. So if I'm lying, what else I'm lying about?
Yeah.
It's just facts. So a lot of people be trying to use things for things. They be like, this ain't no lawgiver. CMB ain't never been no law. What law? giver for a group of people, and they say this is your crazy religion. If I be telling people, I say you're gonna get looked at as crazy because this ain't he's not no law giver for who?
So let me just to clarify. You don't believe that there's a document or entity created the moment that you're born with your same exact name that is
Everybody
owned
got
by
one.
the state. Yeah,
Everybody
but
got
you don't
one.
believe that's separate from you, or do you believe that is one and the same? Just personal beliefs, not a
I
law.
mean, well, me, I don't have no personal beliefs, and I'm glad you asked me. I don't have no because I can't have a personal belief and believe in teaching lawful because that's going to go coincide the
Well,
law.
in fact, then that's the
I,
paper
I,
can't
I,
be you, and then
I,
it's at the top it says the state, so that means
but
it's
what
to
did
the
I say?
state. The state owns
When
it.
most people was born, you went through where? The hospital, right?
The hospital, yeah,
Okay.
I heard a
So the
class you
hospital
talking
have a
about
thing
that.
called what? The birth certificate, right?
Yeah,
So most
yeah.
people, if you don't have a midwife, you go to the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just say you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it, and the claim a child replaces the what?
Birth certificate.
That's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15, right?
That's what it says in there. The claim of child.
We all got a little time to research the
Oh,
Declaration of
okay.
Human Rights, Article 15. I told y'all, you don't need to take me no long time. People be like, damn, she got messed up, didn't I? Yeah.
Hey,
Research
let
it
me
real
ask
quick.
you, Noble.
So how do you claim
What?
with a family Bible? Because I know somebody that does it through that way, and
Listen,
has worked. Claiming your child through a family Bible. Because I'm actually an ordained minister as well too. I end up getting a certificate to get it more into that type of understanding and
it's the
operating through
law.
the First
It's
Amendment.
family. Like,
Because
it's for family, but family.
I think every man is a minister for his family. You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
so it's a church. Every family is a church.
So
Yes.
what type of a law was Martin Luther King arguing, fighting
I
for?
would say civil rights law,
So okay, which comes first, civil or human?
human,
So
definitely
then why was he
substantive.
arguing civil in the first place? Because that's like colorful
Ding.
law.
Because that is that's the great secret,
It's
the
not,
great
but it's not a
illusion.
secret. That's why I tell people I teach this. I've been teaching this for years on college campus.
Well,
That's
hold
why
on. So no, it is a secret though, Sheik, if you think about it, because if you send your kids to zebra school and they only talk about civil rights, that's
Civil,
all you
right?
know. Like
That's
you
all
you
you
you sent
know,
your kids to zebra school. So yes, it
right?
is a secret. It's the greatest secret.
Yeah,
that's why you got to come for after school studies. That's why the churches
No,
right.
have after. That's
ain't
why
nowhere.
you have good people
No,
in the communities
ain't
like
no
myself.
only in Flint,
I
Michigan,
get
anybody
that.
had that. They ain't had that here in California.
When you got me, we ain't making no excuse. I'm right here, and that's the
Now,
thing.
yeah, I know.
How you gonna be civil and you don't come from human? Where you gonna get civil? Everything is
Because they
human
told you
rights.
you
So,
wasn't human, so the
yes, you not a
psychosis of
human.
you not human, right?
Yes.
You a slave. You
So
ain't even a
Doesn't
slave.
human mean monster in law or something like that as
no,
well too?
no human. No, that's why I tell people like come to class because you got civil law. It's a thing. It's civil law, criminal law. We have to
Oh
know
no,
the
that's
different
a
jurisdictions.
troglodyte. That's a
You talk about
Neanderthal.
those are
Neanderthal.
Europeans.
I thought that's what human meant. I thought like,
No,
Yeah, a Neanderthal.
yeah,
a
okay,
Neanderthal is not a human.
Or we talk about a troglodyte. Look up what a troglodyte
Troglodyte.
is, or Albie.
So who?
troglodyte.
Yeah, think about in society who got taught to be civilized.
Yes, noble. It's there. When you research these words, linguistics mean it's troglodyte. It's not. I just be trying to save people lives. Like brothers will get in trouble with all this paper terrorist stuff. Brothers be going
Right.
around with a stack of paper in their car. Why don't you? I gotta get the paper now. When
The
you talk
fee
to a regular
schedule
cop,
and all that.
they don't. Man,
Yeah,
that's all I tell people is like, do what you feel was right, and then when you get in trouble or if you whatever, please be honest to tell people what you done. Just like people talk about
Right,
some Sharifian officers, that lady on the internet. I be wanting to say names, but I can't say. You ain't no
right,
Sharifian officer. That's some Ottoman Empire stuff. Like that's asinine.
right.
You can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. No, but that's an oxymoron. How are
That's
you a
an
sovereign and a
oxymoron.
citizen at the same time?
Can't do
You
that.
can't
You could be a
expropriate from
private
the de
citizen,
facto government. You
not
de facto, if
expatriate. You
you
don't want to
expropriate
expatriate.
in the de facto government, you're going to be a domestic terrorist, foreign and
But does a
abroad, right here.
citizen does a citizen mean subject? I heard people say national. instead.
Man, that's to me. I'm gonna be that's
Is that
semantics.
asinine too? Semantics? Yeah, okay.
They know it. Oh, I'm a foreign nat. They say they're a foreign national. How the hell you a
No,
foreign national? That's an
not
oxymoron.
foreign national, American national or state
That's an
national.
oxymoron. That's another. How are you an American national? You ain't never. How? That's an oxymoron. Why would in the hell would you be an American national? Why in the hell would anybody be American national? You can have dual citizenship.
Because national means an allegiance to the United States. Yeah. Listen, I'm just
You see how you
I
can
come
know? You
from
corrected it.
different teachings, and I'm
No,
just
what you just said is when you just answered it. So the person that's telling you that, they be like, "Damn, did he know he just answered what I just promulgating? You just answered it, and it
hmm.
destroyed everything. What a person was saying, you just destroyed it. You're still an American, so why I need to do all this? I'm an American. What
Well,
type
you're
of
not a
American?
subject. You're not a subject. A slave, a citizen means subject to the crown, right? Doesn't it?
Come on,
And
man.
then when you register, it means you give your things over to the crown, right? Regis,
What crown? Like when people be saying
the
what crown, like
crown.
crown
Britain
who?
still owns everything. You know,
On
which
what?
the Pope owns that. You know, the
I get
Vatican,
that,
the
but on
Jesuits,
what?
own everything. Everything. When
I
you
get
register your
that.
vehicle, it's giving it to the state. That's why they can impound your shit whenever they
What
want.
are you using to pay for that?
Huh?
What are you
You use
using
a
to pay
federal
for that?
well, you use a fiat currency, not real
Okay,
money.
okay, it is right. But do we have
Yeah.
any other currency to tap into right now besides that?
The promise to pay.
No, no. Do we have any other currency trade of
See,
value?
wait, Malik, I know that rhetoric. I know that. What you said, promise to pay, that's the rhetoric that get people locked up. The promise, we talk about we canceling corporate debt. That's the shenanigans. That's the Roger
Discharge.
Elvick stuff. That's
That
the Roger
HJR
Elvick.
192.
That's the Roger Elvick. If you read it with all entirety from truth, show me anybody that done it the right way and they life right. Nobody went to
What
prison. This is Roger Elvick. When you
discharge?
take
I've
it,
seen people discharge.
discharge what though? I'm asking.
Car loans, evictions.
And then
Um,
and now what though?
I wouldn't do the eviction thing, you know what I'm saying? It's really just taking advantage of, homeowners and stuff like that. But,
Brother.
you know,
In certain states, say if you do that in Florida, say if you do that in Florida, you know what? I don't have to get an eviction notice. You know what I can do? I can come right out there and shoot you in the head because you broke and entering because squatters have no right in the state of Florida.
okay.
And so
Maybe
anybody
not.
doing that in Florida, where they be like, "Oh yes, they do." No, you don't. You get your head bust wide open in Florida because squatters have no rights.
But that doesn't obtain to like California, the places
Right.
to do. You come out the places to do. So they do it.
So but now what I'm saying is,
I
I'm
don't
saying
have the scholarship to go to I don't have
I agree with what Noble Simon saying, but what I say to
the
brothers,
scholarship to speak on that.
everybody have their own fight is how I explain it all the time. Can you do some things? Yes. Is it worth? I always ask a person, what is your mission and what you doing, and are you leading people to do that and lead them in a burning house when they don't have the skills and the aptitude in it? When they trying to get away from a bill or not pay this or cancel corporate debt, and then everything crumble, and then when they need to defend it in the court, there's no one to defend them from the stuff that they got. You can't say brainwashed when you don't know what you're doing, And so I don't get in that. I tell people, I hope you know what you're doing, and I hope that make your life good. When you do these things, I hope your life change for the better when they're doing these things. But if we do these things because we went into a contract and we say we don't want to pay, and we heard some more on the internet and say you can cancel corporate debt because you don't want to pay your car note off, I think that's to me that shows something of your character. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
want to
not.
deal with nobody. And let
It's
me tell
not
you
noble.
something. And I would let me tell you something, and I end with this. Just like if I before you got into the science and you get in the car for me, and I gave you a good deal with no interest, and you leased so many cars for me and paid them off, and then you get with some Negro on the internet telling you to, well, you can cancel corporate debt, and then you don't got to pay that no more. You can file this paperwork. And why would anybody want to do that? Why would
That's
anybody
probably
teach
noble.
any? Why would anybody teach anybody to break the? Why would anybody teach anybody doing that? Because if I
Is
go
that
into a
even
contract and the
criminal?
person give me a good deal, I don't need to do that criminal stuff. I'm gonna buy why?
Why?
Because this is what I'm doing.
Well, what I hear is that they're profiting double. So they profit off the note because it's used and traded as a security, and
No,
then
but
they
that don't even
profit
make
off
sense.
of the money
I
that
don't
you're
even
getting.
know.
It does make sense. 'Cause
Look at
asset-backed securities, like
Noble.
you have
Let
an
me ask you
asset-backed,
another
they group
question. Let me
them
ask you another
and
question.
they
When you get
sell
a
them,
car,
they resell them.
when you buy a car, do you know how much interest are you paying on? When you get a car, what's the interest rate on your car?
Depends on what your credit is.
Okay, I'm
Or if
just
you buy
saying.
it cash, it's
I'm
no
just throwing it
interest.
out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
So about
So you
7%. Let's say
okay?
7% or
So
something.
7%. So who's getting that? So who's getting that percentage?
The
The company,
financiers,
or
the
somebody,
banks,
the finance, or somebody in Queen of England. The finance, or somebody in Queen of England.
Both.
both yeah, they're gonna get taxed. So the
What
queen's
are
getting
okay?
some.
Okay, so we talk about the government. That's like when you got a job, the money go to it sits in the private banking system. I understand rhetoric when they talk about Jekyll Island. I get all that. Everything go to the federal government.
Yeah.
So I get the rhetoric, believe me. But I'm
Oh,
saying
the Federal Reserve.
In the
Yeah.
Americas, when you want things, if you get a car, and I say you know all this, why would you register it? I ask this to everybody when they say they know. I say, okay, when you get a car and all that, you buy. Why would you? If I knew this, like I asked Morris, and they know all this, why you register your car from day one? Just go get your
No, you're
car
not.
and drive it.
You're supposed to get your MCO, your manufacturer certificate of origin. That's a
Okay,
true
so now when you
title
do that,
because a
okay,
certificate of title is only a representation.
watch what
I
I'm
don't know.
saying
I've,
though.
I've looked into some
I
of this
know, I
stuff.
hear it. And I know who you talk about. They went to jail. They just ain't tell y'all because everybody don't know their real names. I know their real
Okay.
names. That's the
You
problem.
heard a homeboy. He look kind of white. Don Kalam. He be
I'll be
he be
waiting for
wearing
y'all to tell
shit.
me real names. I'll be waiting. Yes, he used to be skinny. Now he big. I'm telling you, he used
Yeah.
to be in business. Dude, I don't want to get into none of this stuff. I'm 48 years old. I've been doing this for a long time. I met a
Yeah.
whole
I
bunch of
like
people
what
in
you
the
teach
city.
though. Yeah.
I met Polite and all of them. They all in jail. They was like, "Sheik, please don't expose me." I said, "I just talk in general. I don't expose nobody, man.
But
None of that
Polite be
stuff
speaking
works."
some good shit though about like the origins of Islam and stuff like he had that good
Mhm,
debate with Ali Muhammad. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying?
Who that? Polite?
But with shit that he got locked up for, that shit fucked me up. I
Bro,
don't
like I
yeah.
tell people, I don't get into the rhetoric. I don't tell nobody what to do. All I say, when you file all this
Right.
paperwork, when it's a paper trail, all this filing, that's the government stuff. But then you say you don't go against the government. You say don't do this, don't do this, if something happened to you. You want to use the courts to defend you. Like say if somebody tell you you don't got to register your car and Walmart truck crashed into you and your kids on the highway. What you're going to try to do is go to court and use the laws that you say you don't abide by to defend yourself. What's going to happen is going to be reversed on you because they're going to say you don't have no business being on the highway. Why? Because you ain't abiding by our bylaws. How? To insure the people in your car, to insure the people. So what? You put everybody at risk, not only yourself. I'm just talking genre, how a person that think they know something and get their ass chewed up by a person that know the language because you're responsible for everybody when you get on the highways and byways, not yourself. That's what people don't know.
They tell you not to register, but they do tell you still need insurance to
All
insure.
right. So hold on.
So that's what I heard. I don't have the scholarship for this, but I
no.
just
Let me
I
let
got
me just sum something up right
yeah.
real quick. Right. They
Very
say
simple.
what in state is separate.
Church and state.
Okay. So if everything is owned by the church but governed by the people in the church, right? What are we talking about? Right. Remember, it says control everything and do what?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. So if the church or the temple owns everything, right? That's not a person, right? They're just
Nope.
operating in the temple, right? Or the church, right? So in essence, you don't own anything personally, right? The church owns it. So
Yeah.
therefore, you don't have to register it if it's owned by the church because the church is private. So people are doing things personally is what we have to
Yeah.
understand, right? On a personal, they're not doing it with a moving body or a sovereign body because a
Right.
body, the only thing to be sovereign is a body
Yeah. Not a
politic. Church
person.
is a body politic
Ah,
with many moving parts, right?
copy.
So that is that there. I just gave the answer to everything
Yeah,
we
that's
just talked about.
game. You did. You did.
That's
So
simple.
Simply. I got you.
It's
I
simple.
heard
We
you.
be teaching people like for instance, when you see church bodies and they say not for hire, they have tags on their truck. They ain't right around none on it. It's not for hire. It's a body, so they have vehicles. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I tell people, you're not a sovereign citizen. The language is wrong. It can't be a sovereign citizen. You can be a sovereign nation, but you can't be an individual and say you a sovereign citizen. Is you off? A lot of stuff is off, and I wouldn't want to be by myself. You know, that's why when I say Sopranos and you look at everything and they be on the card, they be like everything is owned through the church. I don't own this. They do the paperwork. Boom, it's owned by the such. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And the money
Oh,
that
that's
we
what
get.
you mean. That's what you meant when you were studying The Sopranos. Okay,
Right. It's
that's
a lot of
game.
stuff. And then
Yeah,
just the religious laws, brothers, like the religious laws and religious communities. We lost the concept of religious community because when you have a religious community, it trump everything. The
right.
religious
'Cause that's
laws
what the
trump
nation was
everything. You not
founded
operate
on
under,
too.
yes, you're not operating under the state laws. You operate under your religious codes, like the Mormons, like the Amish.
Right.
You have the
Let
law.
me also want to clear something up too from what we said earlier. I needed to go back to that. What I said that how the Catholic Church protects those people, right? We're
Right.
not trying to protect bad people. So I just want
There
to
you
clear
go.
that up. So
Nah.
if you do something of cause harm, you will be held due just for what you
Yeah.
indeed. So we're
Right.
not trying to sit out here and protect criminals. I'm not saying we setting up our temples in church like the Catholic Church so we can protect horrible people. That's not what we saying. So let me
Right.
just clear it up because I had to go back to that because I need to clear that
Right.
up. So if you're doing wrong, you can't be around us. If you're not honorable or noble, it takes the right person to be part of this organization,
Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
We're not handling with no goofiness and none of that, and you get to go out here and being reckless and relentless and being a horrible person because that's not what we about. So I just got to
Okay.
clear that up. So that's on the record.
And
All
we'll
right.
get a call. Like, it'll happen so many times where I had women in our organization, they'll make up this scenario. They'll say, my cousin getting ready to get arrested from her job and bloom, bloom, bloom. And then I say, where? Savannah? And then they have to admit that it was them. Because when you say you promulgate something and we real, they can be like, well, that ain't what she promulgating. You know,
Right.
it's easy
Okay.
to look this up. I got people in prison. The warden, they're like, yeah, the warden let us watch you. He'll like, you just tell the truth. They're like, so I just hope people don't get in trouble by watching videos and thinking this whole movement is about signing some document, thinking you're going to get something, or reversing some claim or canceling corporate debt. And I ask people, what corporate debt do you have? Most people don't have corporate debt. You either have child support, a car note, or something. We don't have no corporate debt. We don't. So what can be done is being honorable to things and correcting things. But I tell everybody, don't do nothing that'll get you in trouble. And I tell people to move however you feel that's right, and that's all I got. That's all I have. I don't tell
Mad
nobody what
game
to
this
do.
session. Mad game. Sorry to keep ask all these questions,
That's
keep you
good.
guys
No, that's
over
great, baby.
time.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
We good. We was
Appreciate
done
that.
for an hour. We built for a whole hour. That's fine, man.
Yeah.
But it's
Fire.
so much.
Fire.
And
Yeah.
that's why I tell nobles, it's so much noble side that brothers can ask. And I say, it's so much. And I'm glad you bringing some things out because I know it's so much more. I know just from some of the stuff you said, I know some of the stuff might have came from RV Publishing, some of the stuff people heard. I know because it's all lined up with some of the same stuff. Am I right about what I'm saying?
Yeah. Definitely.
I know I am. I had a dude on here talk about his mama wrote for RV Bay Publishing. I wish my noble Barclay was on here. Him and his homeboy got destroyed. They were trying to do something real fast. Somebody told him to meet me. He could help you up. I see it like a drunk. Boom. They destroyed because they were trying to do something. I'm like, how can you be part of this and then coming to me? And you keep talking this RV Bay Publishing. I did this through a publishing company. A publishing company is a publishing company. What you talking about? You not it's a publishing company. Supposedly, a
Hmm.
publishing company don't nationalize you. I don't nationalize you. So a lot of stuff is just not real. And so I'm just glad you being open and just writing things down and asking questions. And we're going to continue to build. And don't hesitate to. It's no such thing as a dumb question. No, it's not. So feel free to ask me anything, and I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to say, here, Noble, research it, and we sit down and build like we're doing right now. So gratitude, y'all, for y'all
Definitely
time.
fire. Peace, nobles. Hey, one last question. When
Definitely
do I
fire.
when I get the
Gratitude.
fearless
Noble. Hey,
Gratitude
one
to
last
you.
question.
turban?
You got the feelings in a turban.
It'll come in the mail, because they make them, and then I get the tassels from another place, so it'll take a couple weeks, but it'll be in the mail. Your turban and your shemag probably get there before because I already got those on hand. But your
Okay,
turban will take a
fire.
couple weeks. Fine. I already put the order in, so as soon as I get it, then I have to ship it to you. You will have it.
All right, okay.
All right. Okay.
Another thing as I leave, something my dad always talk about when people don't be wanting to understand more, and they be acting like it's a problem because they don't research. Well, we named ourselves, and we were Amazigians. And that's what I tell people, research Amazigian, and those are
How you
free
spell
men
it?
of color. Ah, man, I don't have my paper with me. Malik, you got it written down?
Amazigian.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on.
You know, AMAAGAGHEN. My dad know that off the top because my dad brought that to me. He was like, wait a damn minute. We named ourselves. Now that's what I'll be telling people, free men. Yeah. And they don't want us to know this stuff. They don't want us to know this stuff. Like we could bring a whole teaching just on that and be like, wait a damn minute. We named ourselves something.
It's AMAZIGH. Amazig.
AMA.
AMAZIGH.
Yep. Amazigian with the HEN. Yep. Yep. And that'll open a whole nother chamber of discussion through the week. You know, it'll open it up because I want us to do things correctly. Islam?
Islam.
Y'all got it?
Yep.
No, I don't. I need to spell one more time.
Yes. AMAZIGH.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Amazig.
Or
That's my mom.
or AMAZIGAN.
That's my mom, Noble Simon.
AMAZIGAN or AMAZIGH. And the Amazigh refers to the indigenous people of North Africa, also known as Berbers, who have a rich and ancient culture. They have their own languages, traditions, and symbols, and are found in many countries across North Africa.
They
When you
also
research, and when you research, you're going to say that they named themselves and they were free men all through history.
Yeah, do a deep dive.
Do a deep. That's why I said do a deep dive. You're going to see it like they were free men. And just like the Hebrew Hill, when I show you all the free Negroes of Hebrew Hill, you're going to be like, well, they were free. And this same thing, all through history, we were free. Where? In the Americas, Amazigian, ancient. We were free men. Wasn't no slaves. And it's gonna show things. That's why I like to correct history and say, wait a minute, let's get rid of all this crazy stuff and do things the right way. Because we have strength in numbers. And when we understand that we tax them for the federal government as a body, then we can have a fleet of stuff. All our stuff can be taxed in for the federal government. Why? Because we can spend all our money in-house. How? The money that we give to Uncle Sam, we can do it in-house. That's how. We have a fleet of cars. Nigga will talk about it. We have a fleet of cars.
And then when you it'll tell you that it includes the empire's culture, including the Arabs and the Islamic influence.
Yeah. And so when you see Arab, man, see, this will go so far, we got to get out of here. And another writer, Bertram Thomas, when you see Arab, it's not spelled A-R-A-P, it's A-R-A-B, it's A-R-A-P. And then you get the ancient dictionary by Vladimir Dale, and it shows who the real Arab is. The A-R-A-P, not A-R-A-B. And we got all the ancient dictionaries. And these Europeans is from Russia. They tell you what they saw in Russia. Alex Pushin, you know, the Russian icons, they tell you. And Arab with A-R-A-P.
From Brooklyn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a little research. That's a little research as well, Nobles. As you see that, you will start seeing things and be like, well, wait a minute. I just want brothers and sisters, when they operate, if they say they operate through the science, operate right. And don't take what nobody else doing and they doing this paper terrorist stuff. No, you do what's right for you and your family. And you play yourself up righteously because you can. If people own things, you can make things right. If stuff old, you can get those things off your credit, all those things, and then start doing things the right way. But criminal stuff, that's not what we're about. Sovereign citizen movement, you're not with it.
Have you seen the Berber flag that they have here?
Yeah. I lectured all this, yes. When you look up the Corsica flag.
Something real quick.
Okay. See, that's why my dad said we need to be in the churches where the people at. Because you're not gonna get, most of our people don't get this what I'm giving.
This is the logo of one of my clothing line I just created, right?
Hmm?
It's a logo for. I'll explain that later. But look at the logo of the Berber flag.
Yeah, it's on there. Uh-huh. A lot of American
I had
stuff.
no idea. I had no idea about the flag and the symbol.
Look up the Corsica flag when you get a chance. It's gonna blow your mind. When you see what's in Europe and you're gonna see the Moor head with the red cross down the middle with the two heads on it with the flag, it's the Corsica flag. It's called all you gotta do is Google Corsica flag. It's gonna blow your mind. And then I can start showing you all the stuff that they got in Europe. They already knew this. This is scholarship. When they defeated the Moors, they had the flag over their eyes. They had some, and then some when they recognized the flag was up. That's why they had the flag. They had the slave ship of Jesus of Lambic. The slave ship of Jesus of Lambic, they had a Demi Moorhead on there. See, that they don't teach this in school. I teach it. That's how they got them brothers on that ship. They saw that flag. They're like, oh, this is something familiar. Yeah, come on. You saw those flags. You saw, and the Corsica flag is the Moor's head. Simon, like, what the heck?
No, I created that off the top of my head.
Yes. No, you didn't. The spirit, noble. Remember, we just was talking about how using both parts of your brain when stuff is already embedded in your DNA. See, this is not osmosis. See, it tripped us out because people not into it. I'm into it. That's why I'm laughing. I said, brother, it's already embedded into you. We just ain't coming up with things like, oh, we came to know. It's already embedded in you. The spirit took you to that design. Right then, you didn't know. But look, it lines up. It's already embedded in your DNA. I guarantee you, it's already embedded in your DNA. And then you look up when you look up your family crest and your coat of arms, you're gonna be like, well, damn it, it's gonna connect. I guarantee you, because that's how this stuff works. Yeah, it works like this. You see that was an easy build. That was an easy build to show you that, to show that manifestation in the flesh. When we say we the burning bush, an attention grabber. Bam. You doing the work. We just pulling it out. That's why I tell people I ain't special. What I am is a mapping God. I'm a sensei. That's it.
We special.
Gratitude to your spirit, noble Simon. Gratitude. Gratitude. It feel good. That's the Holy Spirit. Understanding. I'll be telling people the Holy Spirit ain't no stupid stuff. The Holy Spirit is understanding. When some come to bring something to your remembrance. It can't bring something to your remembrance of something that there. It ain't there. The Holy Spirit brought something back to your remembrance, something that's there. That's why the Bible says we are God's. I'm preaching. I'm in my third chamber right now, but I'm telling y'all, this is what this is about. We got this ability to do this. This is what we don't understand. How us, when two or more gather, there we are. The ability to do what? Create with meaning. Islam, man. Islam. Gratitude to y'all.
Gratitude. Peace.
We out of here, man. We've been going for 2 hours, man. Blame it on Malik.
It's your fault.
Allows our God by night, by day, the prophets, Ali, I say, the prophets, the flesh, of the BBT, them advanced booties.
Peace.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of meager meaning. I have